Hey, it's the Bennington Show. I'm Ron Bennington. There's Gail Bennington.
Yo.
I am Ron Bennington. Mike Zito starts us off. He's been crushing it all week.
That's Mike Zito covering Rocky Mountain Way. And Mike's newest album, Make Blues Not War, is available now on Amazon and iTunes. And he's playing tonight at the Bull Run in Shirley, Mass. And tomorrow night at Summers Point Concert Series in Summers Point, New Jersey.
I think it's, I missed yesterday that you called it his self-titled album. That was my favorite thing that was said all week.
I'm such a huge Zito fan.
Oh, he's great, man.
I mean, so damn good. And so impressed that the recording sounds so fantastic.
Well, that's a recording studio that we have here.
It's very nice.
These are professional people. You said all the engineers were going apeshit for it, though.
They were loving it. They were loving the session, as they called it.
Oh, they call it a
that's
session.
cool.
Yeah.
Damn it.
I'm going to use some of those cool lingo that they have.
Well, just be like me. Call it a sesh, no matter what it is. I even said yesterday I'm going out for a lunch sesh. Does anybody need anything?
Were there engineers there?
No. Not that kind of engineer that you're talking about. I was with two old-fashioned train engineers from the 1800s. And they were stoking. They were coal stoking. They stove for me. From what I understand from Chris Stanley, even though I don't see it on the news, we've got a hung jury for Mr. Bill Cosby. In other words, Bill Cosby walks.
Yes. After 4 days of deliberation, they're saying that they can't make a unanimous decision on any of the charges.
So that means another trial when it's a hung jury.
If the state even wants to try it again.
Yeah.
I mean, why? You know, at that point, it's Cosby wins when it's a hung jury. Now, the state could come back. But there wasn't a lot of interest in putting this old man away as it was now. When you saw everything that was leading up to it, where the magazines were showing stuff, but this was a trial that you would have expected to see the parking lot filled with people, and it was just a who cares. So if you're the prosecutor, you wasted a ton of money. And you don't see that anyone really. Oh, okay. Chris gave me the wrong news. They're not a hung jury. They are deadlocked, and the judge says they have to go back and work on it. So everything that we just said leading up to this is false. And me saying that this is over and it's a win for Cosby was just a lie. I lied to you, ladies and gentlemen.
I like a deadlock when the judge is just like, you work it out. We are not going to fucking give up on this.
I kind of agree with the judge here. We put you guys up here to figure this out, go into that room and fight and claw and, see what you can do. Is it 11-1? Is it fucking 10-2? These things, is it 6-6? These things matter. Now, will it be a hung jury? Normally, when you get into that, somebody has dug their heels in.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying, hey, can we take a look at this again? The only thing they asked to look again was the girl that I believe was dating him, who also said that she was drugged. That makes, there's always somebody on the jury who goes, she wanted it.
Yeah.
She wanted it. And that guy's, when you come into that with that type of thing, I don't want to say it's a prejudice, but there's always a guy who thinks these women set up guys.
Yeah.
And I know that from being on a month-long jury. Puerto Rican guys where everybody's guilty until the guy who punched his wife or girlfriend. And then they dug in tight that they push, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like they brought their own culture to this. That was amazing to me. But anybody who had half a joint was a fucking drug dealer who needed to be thrown away forever. But a guy could sit and pummel a woman and they were like, you know how they are.
I was on a short list for a rape trial, and short meaning like there was probably like 100 of us. It wasn't like down to me and like some other dude. But one of the things that they had to establish with everyone is, do you think that someone could be raped who, say, is maybe has done drugs? Do you think someone could be raped if maybe they have been a prostitute at one point of their life or a stripper or something like that? So they had to just establish And there were people who were like, I don't know. And you're like, well, that's pretty common. Like,
there are people who think the way she was dressed, blah, blah, blah. And it's very hard to go from 0 to 100 to change those kind of minds, you know? At the same time, there are people who just scream no means no, and they don't give anyone accused is a rapist. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's a very hard thing to take regular people. These aren't people that have studied the law or have cared about the law in their life. And then you have these people who said, I want you to think of the law as precious and important. And you're like, that's kind of hard for me.
Right.
There are people who think any cop is a bad guy. And there are people who think any cop is a good guy, and they sit on the jury together. And even after seeing those cops, they can't see them as individuals. I saw people who would go, well, if he's so innocent, why was he arrested? They were literally saying stuff like that.
It's really, really crazy. Also, I think people who have never done drugs or have no relationship with drugs in their life whatsoever, don't understand them. And so therefore they make these judgments that maybe a regular person who has experienced them would think is crazy. For example, she was like, she did cocaine. How would she know she was raped? You know what I mean? It's like, oh, so you don't know what drugs are. Okay, so this person should be out of here.
Well, there are people who just think drugs are bad.
Right.
So that drug dealer got shot. He deserves it because he's dealing marijuana.
He's a bad guy.
That comes. Well, there was a thing that came up with guys that were selling heroin, and they were close to a school. They were within. There's some kind of law in New York that you can't be anywhere near a school. And then I said in the jury, try to be far away from a fucking school. In New York, you know what I mean? There are middle schools, there's elementary schools, there's high schools, everywhere. It's very hard to get a fucking quarter mile away from a school. These are guys on the street. They're not they're not selling to kids. Yeah. They're fucking selling on a bench that maybe not that far from a school. I think we ought to put the school thing out of our mind for 5 minutes.
Right, because what is your argument? That a child could have seen someone do a drug deal?
Well, they worry that, the children will see it, think it's cool, and then they go over and go, excuse me, can I cop one of those packages? Alex, Boston.
Hey, what's up, buddy?
What do you say, buddy?
Sorry to derail your
just jump into it. Yeah, don't apologize.
Right,
jump into it.
So guys, what about this Mayweather McGregor fight? I think it's. I mean,
well, nobody's talking about this. It's not going to be an obsession throughout the summer. It is. I mean, we've been around these kind of hype fights our entire lives. No matter how old you are, you've made it through some fight that people go, well, this isn't even going to be great. And yet, for a change, I'm probably going to buy this fight because the hype is going to take me there, and then I'll complain like everybody else.
And that's what I'm saying. Can anyone complain if they drop $90 on this fight? I don't want to hear anybody complain the next day and say that fight sucked.
Everybody's going to complain. Everybody, this is all part of the process, right? It's like, that Christmas is coming. You say, I'm not going to be caught up in Christmas this year. And the closer it gets, you're like, maybe this will end up being a great Christmas. Maybe I should spend a bunch of money. Everyone knows that this is done just for the money. Everyone knows this doesn't really represent boxing versus martial arts. All that stuff is bullshit. Yet we will all leap into it.
And then there was also like the race. It was like a racism thing where it's like he challenged him because he, like, McGregor made a racist comment or something like that.
He has a chance to fight somebody who can't fight and make a couple of $100 million doing it.
Right.
And McGregor is, giving up every asset that he has in terms of what he can do in the ring. And yet he'll make more money than he could have ever dreamed of before. He's making money to go in and get sliced up. That's the gimmick. And then you're like, well, why wouldn't he? Why wouldn't he say, go beat me up? What is it, $100 million minimum?
Yeah, he's going to get $100 million. Was this announced?
Minimum.
Yeah.
I mean, he could make 2.5 times that
On
by
top
the
of-
time
yeah,
this is over.
Yeah, parts of the pay-per-view sales.
So you're saying, if you said to anybody, would you go into this fight and get beat up? And maybe you'll come out of it with 180 million. Anybody would say, yeah, I'll go in there. I'll get my ass beat. Whatever.
I'd say I don't even want to go the distance. However fast it's over, I'm fine with it.
First time I'm fucking tag good, I'm going down, spitting up blood. I'm going to lead with my face. It'll be funny as we get there. I don't know whether you guys ever watched the movie The Great White Hype.
Yeah.
Yes, I have.
Fucking great movie.
It's
It's got zero respect in the world. But it is this fight. It's literally this fight.
Yeah.
And it's literally most of the fights I've seen throughout my life. Well, Jerry Cooney works here.
Yeah.
The fucking excitement level leading up to that bad fight was unbelievable.
Yeah.
We couldn't stand it as a nation. I saw people dry swimming down the fucking street. Fight is 2 days away. And you're just like, I'm like, you're going to tear your fucking arms and elbows up and your knees on that sidewalk dry swimming. They're like, I can't stand it. That's what this fight is. I'll be in the back of my mind going, if McGregor just lands that overhand fucking right, that could be it. Even though that's an insane thing to be thinking. Nobody hits this fucking guy. Mayweather's the greatest defensive fighter anyone's ever seen. The times that he's been hit hard is next to nothing. And yet, ESPN, Fox Sports, every local fucking hack sports guy will be talking about this, and you'll be caught up.
Now, are they sports anchors and stuff? Are they under pressure to create hype from their network? Like, look, don't say this is going to be a squash. Like, is that part of?
No, because saying it's going to be a squash is also hype.
Right.
It's also part of the hype. They're in the everybody predicts something business, and everyone go out of their way to first take this thing. Take 7 fucking minutes to say something that you could say in one sentence. That's the fucking sports business. And we're all going to end up watching the fucking fight. A very big reason for everybody to go, what did I tell you? Didn't I fucking... Somehow you're a good person and you're taking all the credit in the world because you said this guy's getting fucking knocked out. That makes you brilliant. This is... In a way, like we were talking about drugs, this is a drug. Sports is a way to get us to not think about anything else. I mean, if you think about it, the number of 24-hour sports radio stations, websites, TV stations, it's crazy to be talking that much about a fucking game. And nobody is talking. I mean, the second Golden State wins, the next fucking thing out of every sports is how many more years is this window open? Where do you compare them to the fucking 83 76ers?
Yeah.
People are screaming about something they couldn't get fucking proven without a time machine. And even if you had a time machine, Dr. J would be like, why? Why is everyone talking into these little boxes? And why are you calling that a phone? A phone is something that's in a home that's attached to a cord. Why do you call this thing that has no resemblance to a phone a phone? I mean, could you imagine if this country just suddenly got 24-hour fucking science stations where people sat around screaming about electrons and, you'd be like, oh, these guys know nothing about science at all, and yet they're yelling at each other. That's how anyone who probably has studied a sport feels. And you take like Mike and Mike, right? The one Mike, the guy who played pro football, he probably understands very much what it takes to be a defensive lineman. Why he's spending so much time talking about basketball or fucking tennis. He's as big as an expert as Chris Stanley, who for some reason dresses like Flashdance now. There's no difference at all.
It's for the sweat.
He doesn't know anything more, and yet 4 hours a day he's in there screaming what should happen in golf or the French Open or whatever else. All right, Johnny Football's fiance and her ass. This seems to be a big story. Which one of you guys sent that in?
I sent that in.
That's you, Chrissy. Tell me why this is a big story, because, by the way, You forced Johnny Football on us for years, and he turned out to be nothing. You told us he was going to light it up, and he was a baller, and he's getting paid. Now that that's gone, he's obsessed with the girlfriend.
The fiance is very interesting to me because I didn't realize how nice her ass was and just how attractive she was.
All right, let's take a look at it. Why? The only reason that interests you about this ass is sometimes Johnny Football's fucking cock rubs against it. There she is.
Right, this here just is the front shot.
Yes,
attractive young lady.
Like a person.
Yeah, human lady.
And I hear the ass shots are coming up.
What is this, fucking 1993 where we have to wait?
I mean, that's a fantastic shot of her bent over at the beach.
Yeah, it is.
It's nice. Yeah, I would agree. It's nice.
But why are you obsessed with it? Because it's Johnny's?
Because it's Johnny's, yeah.
And why are you obsessed with Johnny when you and him basically play the same amount of fucking sports? Why?
Now, here's what I got. So this is his fiance?
Yeah, this is the fiance, yeah.
This is very quick after he was hitting on Jen not too long ago.
Here's the thing. A fiance in this realm, it means nothing. Nothing. To say this is my fiance is the easiest thing anyone could do.
Jen was once assigned to him, I think.
Look at Vito. He's had a fiance once, and now a comedy power couple is fucking just fucking tag teaming that every night and laughing about Vito.
I didn't know that part.
I told you that part.
I didn't know they were laughing about me.
Yes, I laughed about that with them.
Ouch.
Because she brings you up and your shortcomings.
Oh, I thought you were going to say she brings me up in positive manners.
During the tag team? Why would she do that?
I don't know. I wouldn't mind.
Variety picked 10 killer comics to watch this year. Lisa Traeger on it again.
Nice. Way to go. I love it.
Everyone's keeping an eye on her right now.
You better.
I understand she has a pilot too.
Yeah, that's very cool.
Yeah. What the
Sorry.
hell is that all
My
about?
sunglasses fell, and I don't know why it was so loud.
Hey, Maureen, how you doing, darling? Long time.
Oh, I know, but I'm listening every day. And oh my God, I was so excited yesterday when you spoke with Christine McVie and Lindsey Buckingham. I have loved them forever, and I was so excited for Gail. I felt like I was listening to my own niece get to interview them.
I wish you would have came down for it.
So thrilling.
Oh my God. I wish I had known. It was, oh my God, it was so exciting. And when Gail was talking about loving Silver Springs, when that album came out, my friend Robert and I chased that song all over the world because you couldn't get it. It was on the B-side of Go Your Own Way.
Yeah.
And you know, you don't know about the old days where, you know, buying albums and 45s and you couldn't get your hands on anything. No computer, and we wanted to ask somebody in the bowling alley if we could have in the jukebox that 45 so that we could have Silver Springs, which we never did get. And then I actually have the 45, but it's from Japan, and it has all Japanese writing on it and stuff from...
people don't realize, like, the import... like, a lot of times you would see an album that you had completely in different packaging and everything, and you're like, and some of the songs would be done differently, and you're like, is this from another reality? Is there another universe where things like this happen?
Well, it's so funny that you're saying that because my friend Robert and I, we would just study our albums, and he had Goodbye Yellow Brick Road, and so did I. But, you know, we're looking at the artwork, and he's saying, you know, over here by the teddy bear, and then you see the heart, and I'm saying, I don't see what you're seeing. And, you know, we're practically fighting, you know, what are you talking about? And then realized his mom was from England, and she had gone home to visit, and she bought the Goodbye Yellow Brick Road album over there and then brought it home, and the artwork was different, so... he was seeing something different.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? I mean,
it was different.
Yeah, people were obsessed with that kind of stuff.
The only one I can think in like when I was young was the Strokes had like a UK album cover for what was that first album that was so This Is It, I think.
This Is It.
And the UK was like a very like it was like a butt and like it was like very sexy.
Yeah.
And then the other one was like a more sophisticated kind of like arty.
Yeah, what happens is if in America you can't get back in those days, you couldn't get that album cover in Kmart or Walmart, right? So then you're like, okay, we're artists, we're sticking with this. Well, it cost you, you know, 50 or 100,000 fucking units. So the record company go, if you don't come up with a cover, we will. We're fucking giving this to Walmart. We're changing the title, and those things would happen. And then collectors would become obsessed with that, obsessed with that. Well, did you ever see because I had heard about it for years, was the Beatles, I forget which, but they said that they had chopped up babies on it, right?
Oh, yeah.
And then, when I finally got around to saying it was doll parts,
Yeah.
But when I heard about it, I'm like, what the fuck there's a Beatles album where they're just holding up chopped up babies? And you make it to be the greatest thing that you'd ever heard in your life. Like the Beatles are insane. And then you see it and you're just like, oh, what are they doing? Teasing their sisters?
Well, it was so exciting to hear that yesterday. And is that the first time you've ever met Christine McVie? Because I know you've interviewed Lindsay and Mick Fleetwood before. Yes,
it was the first time I ever met Christine. And by the way, she looks unbelievable. She's in her 70s, but it's
I know.
Stunning looking.
Yeah.
Stunning looking. And the voice is still there, and it's all pretty amazing.
Yeah, her voice is still so strong and so beautiful.
Well, it was funny listening to Chris talk about moms and their daughters going to see Stevie, because my daughter and I just did. Her boyfriend got us tickets for Christmas, and we just went in April, and we saw your girlfriend, Chrissy Hind, open up.
Wow.
That's a great show.
Yeah, I was thinking of you, Gail, and your mom, and thinking they should be here with us. And I'm actually I have two younger daughters, and the last time I saw Fleetwood Mac, I was pregnant. They're twins, and and I taken my daughter when she was 8, and we saw Fleetwood Mac. And tomorrow night, I'm taking them. They are now 13 to their first concert to see Tom Petty and Joe Walsh, who I was listening to your opening and thought I was listening to Joe Walsh.
The Petty tour is the 40th anniversary. This is the 40 years, and I don't know if anybody's as good as Petty. I mean, those shows are just amazing. Amazing.
I know. And because of your interview yesterday, that inspired me to look at I went back and found that little 45 of Silver Springs, but then I kept all my tickets. And the first time I saw Stevie Nicks was with Joe Walsh in 1983, and the price was a whopping $12.50 to get to see that show.
It was funny. I was watching that Oh Hello thing, and they were bringing up Steve Martin, and Steve said in '79, this is when he was at like the top of his stand-up career, and he'd played, amphitheaters and everything. I mean, these were very large, that he was being bashed by critics for gutting people with prices, and it was a $10 ticket. And they were just like, what the fuck? Who does this guy think he is to be just gouging people? Where are they supposed to find $10? One guy actually wrote, this is 1979, not 2017. Where are we supposed to get $10 at?
I know. To take my daughters, I had to, refinance the house to take them to Tom Petty tomorrow. But,
I remember the first.
It'll be worth it.
Yeah, I remember the first big concert that I went to when I was a kid, and it was Peter Frampton, Edgar Winter, and JoJo Gunn, and I remember getting change back from $5. $5.
Oh my God!
Yeah, look, Chris just yelled, "What the fuck?" What's your look back then? Chris, you would probably be making fucking $45 a week.
I know, that's the
thing. He'd be going to the track. I'd like to make $1.50 bet, please.
Well,
all right, Maureen.
You guys soon. I hope you do another Comedy 101 soon, so we can get together.
Well,
again.
We're going to do one in Montreal.
That's a little far for me.
Yeah, I know. I get that. We also will be doing a show that we kind of have been neglecting, street jokes. Very, very soon we'll announce that. But we were just talking about this today. We're behind on everything. We get so many great ideas, and we're behind on everything. All right, thanks so much. Now, tomorrow we're going to preview something we did with Disco Dan. I thought he'd be here by now to promote it. He is here.
Coming in right now.
Okay, I'll let him bring it up. Hey, Christopher in Texas. Christopher.
Yes, how you going?
Cool. We're going.
Yeah, just wanted to let you know Stevie Nicks was up on stage at the Troubadour there out there in California.
Yeah, it was with the One Direction kid?
Harry Styles.
Yeah.
Yeah, there with Harry, and I read the announcement also that she's going to rejoin the rest of the group for the Flickman Back 2018 tour.
Yeah, that is a fact that that band is out there, and they just said it yesterday. They're literally more popular than ever in drawing people. They are a bigger draw now than they've ever been, and that's true of so many of those bands. John Oates said it to us not too long ago. He goes, "We've never been this big." Billy Joel has never been as big as he is now. Hasn't made a record since 1992. Bigger than ever.
Because that's so interesting, because you can't even just chalk it all up to nostalgia, because there are young fans, new fans.
Well, the difference is, I think, because young people can go out and listen to the music on, let's say, the YouTube.
Yeah.
They can listen to the YouTube, and they're like, oh, this is somebody I dig, and I'm going to follow a bit, somebody I'm not. Let's say when it was back when Fleetwood Mac was big, so 40 years before that would have been 1926. There wasn't a way for people to go listen to Jolson.
Right.
Even if there was, we weren't fucking going. Because we looked at each other and said, this is it, dude. Classic rock is peaking right now. Matter of fact, I think that's what I wrote in my yearbook. Classic rock is peaking.
How'd you know it was classic?
I actually wrote on in parentheses, doesn't have to be old to be classic. Disco Dan, we did a big show for you for G3. What was it exactly? Or Q3. What do you call it?
For Q3, right.
Yeah.
It's our big Q3 bump, everyone's got right before the holidays. I guess this is a little early, but have a big, a big splash. And we decided to record a Father's Day special.
We call it Father of Mine after the big Everclear song.
We just play that over and over. That's the bed music through the whole thing. Yeah. Father of Mine.
Gail screams at me, is this good enough for you now, Dad? Is this everything you wanted?
F you, Dad. I have to say F you because it will play on Comedy Grace.
No,
Laugh USA.
Oh, Laugh USA.
Fuck Comedy Grace. Nobody wants to be on their shitty channel. It's all about Laugh USA. But Gail yelled at me at one time, I'd have been so much happier with Kirby, but you had to chase him away. And I'm like, I know. I think he was a thug. That young man was a thug. He had a tattoo on his knuckles.
Kirby.
But I didn't want to pick a real name, and there's so many. There's so many.
Oh my God, so many.
Now, then you did all the work on this. You actually did all the stuff that if Gail really wanted to make this Father's Day, she would have picked out bits that would have mattered to me. But she allowed you to do that.
Right, and she contributed in her own very distinct way by being on it.
Well, what you did was you wrapped the present and you handed it to her and said, give this to your dad.
And then I was just like, this looks great, Dan. This is gonna mean a lot from me.
Here.
It's not like you sew the silk tie.
Is that me?
It's a special. Yeah. Well, you're going through your awkward boy stage when you did that.
Okay.
You're like a teenage boy. Here it is. It's an apron. Says kiss the cook. Cook has a K at the start of it. But this is very funny comedians talking about fatherhood.
Right, talking about becoming dads when they never expected to, talking about just the crazy experiences, the stuff you could never predict. Great comedians like Jim Gaffigan, Tom Papa.
Love these guys.
Ray Romano.
Yeah.
Nick
Ray
Bargatze.
Romano crushes his thing, just crushes.
Yeah, he's actually the one we start off with, and it's a bit about his twin boys. And
Wait, that's the opening.
That's the opening bit.
All right. Are we going to play this on our show tomorrow, or is that something that is forbidden because it's Laugh USA history?
Well, it's not forbidden, and it will be played on the show tomorrow.
Now, did you give it to Don and Jack?
Not yet. I'm, I sent it to Chris to listen to, and we're gonna this is the Q3 splash. I want to make sure it's,
Can I tell you? I'm gonna teach you how to get over. You tell those guys it's great, and then they'll repeat it back to you, and they'll go, "It is great." They're not going to listen to it. They're too busy, but they love to say, "Oh, this Q3 thing is great."
I mean,
everybody's talking about it.
Literally everyone.
The people on it. They're excited about it, so I am.
This is so good for Q3.
They were telling me how much that they love the town hall that I did the other day. I was sitting there. I could see the entire audience. I never saw them. Loved it, dude. Killed it.
Where were you? Were you hiding?
I could see into the other room where Chris was sweating and looking confused.
They love the idea of it,
They do love the idea. They love the fact that this is something that could be packaged. And that's fun for them. Everybody wants to talk about concert tickets. Well, I think the reason why is you can honestly go back and go, here's something that was, $7. Now to see those same people far past their prime, it's, $150. Now, the other day, people were complaining because some rich person spent $133,000 on the basketball tickets, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if you're rich, if you have, forget billionaires, let's say you have 100 million. Why wouldn't you take 130,000 and I'm going to fucking see this game? It means nothing to you.
Yeah.
It would be like me going, well, $15 is a lot for a cheeseburger, but I read about this in Time Out. You know what? Give it to me.
Right.
That's too much money to pay for a cheeseburger. And I've done it many fucking times.
Absolutely.
Why? It has no change in my life. Nothing matters. Whether I spend that on that or whether I don't. There's no difference.
Sometimes you can just convince yourself that money never existed.
I do that with everything.
It's just as though I just didn't have that $15, but I also ate a cheeseburger.
All right,
of course you would.
Skankfest is announced, and I'm doing an unmasked there with controversial comedian Ari Shaffir. I believe the only Orthodox Jew who went on to superstardom in comedy, so that'll be interesting. But also, we'll get to the bottom, hopefully, of why he was not invited back to do his own show on Comedy Central. This is not happening, even though it's 100% his idea, blah, blah, blah. And from what I understand, some of the fans were disappointed, but Comedy Central was very smart to get a hysterical comedian to replace him. I already know the reason. It has to be because he signed his specials with a Netflix. A Netflix. And if you don't know what Netflix is, they mail you the movie, right? And then you put it back in the envelope they already have, right?
So you don't have to buy postage or the envelope?
No. I put extra postage on it, as I put, just to be sure. And then you ship it back, and within 3 business days, it's all done. This will all be part of our Q3 special. What is it called? Super Dads?
Comedy Dads.
Comedy Dads. Brian Regan, hysterical.
Yes, a great Brian Regan bit.
There's a really funny, surreal Jim Brewer bit where nothing that it's almost like it's a parody song, except for he keeps the exact songs. Right. And just changes who the singer would be of that. Alyssa, how are you? In New Orleans.
Good. $1 billion, Ronnie.
Good to hear.
Hey, Gail.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. I only listen on demand.
Me too.
So I was catching.
How are you listening right now?
Well, I don't have a clue what you're talking about. I just typed it so I could call when you're on the air.
Yeah.
So I was listening yesterday on demand, catching up on my shows. So I was on the episode where you played the first Mike Zito song.
Oh, yeah.
And I was rocking out. I'm like, God, who is this? This is awesome. And you guys, it's Mike Zito. And I walked around for 10 minutes going, well, that's fucking weird as hell. I was picturing Chuck Zito playing the blues.
That's hilarious. Sometimes I'll call him Mark Zito.
Yes, I'm like, Chuck Zito? That would look so funny. Him up on stage in his gym clothes playing the blues.
I'd make a funny joke, but I'd be afraid it would get back to Chuck Zito. And then I would have to hide out for 2 or 3 years. So I'll just say Chuck Zito could do that. And I would like to see him. I'd like to see Chuck Zito made the most interesting man in the world. I don't like the new guy. I don't like the no.
I know.
Now, I don't know whether you heard this story. It's up on the iBank. The old most interesting man in the world has just signed a contract with a tequila company. And I don't know what he's going to be doing, but he'll be shipping tequila.
Yeah, I can't move on from him. To me, like, he was the most interesting man.
The new guy just seems like a dork from the fucking neighborhood.
Yeah.
A Spanish dork.
And not old enough. Like, I liked that,
the other guy was old,
like a little bit more
You have to live a life.
Yeah.
I mean, we couldn't take Vito and make him the most interesting man in the world. He once talked about The Rock 17 days in a row. He saw Springsteen with his mom. He's the most interesting man in the world. His ex-girlfriend is banging a comedy power couple and laughing about it. Why is that your favorite thing? Seriously, and your heart must be just so fucking dark. You're supposed to love and protect that kid.
It's funny to me. That's
Why don't you ever say, Ron, that's not funny?
You just went too far. You can say, like, Vito loves you. Why don't you protect him? And you know what? Nothing looks dumber than someone who's wearing that fucking thing where you let the thing is all opened up.
Really bothering
so you're
me.
like fucking Wonder Woman. You look stupid.
It looks really dumb.
What is
you
that
need
called?
to learn how to tie.
Because it's not a headband.
It's a bandana. It's a bandana that he
but
uses.
the front of it, like the corner was down.
Almost like an ascot.
Thank you.
It's not good
No,
for
please
sweat
stop.
either.
I hate it so much. Please tuck it in a little bit.
This grossed me out yesterday. And Alyssa, you live in a hot place, so he takes his fucking do-rag. He wipes his face and neck with it, right? Then he twirls it up and wraps that sweaty rag around his forehead.
Is that Chris?
Yes. And this is why I did not let him come in and do crowd work with me yesterday.
At least you didn't hit that right armpit with it.
Oh, that pit is
how's it look today?
Dark, dank.
That's fucking Lake Superior.
Swampy.
You could literally have the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald in his armpit.
You know, yesterday, after yesterday, I was thinking about this first thing this morning. Is thinking about, I was in this car accident yesterday, and how horrible I would feel if my boss was like, "No, I can't trust you to take on this job. The sweat and the fact that your shirt is so stained, like that would torture me." And he's just able to go on with his day after that.
You gotta move forward, Gail.
And also, while I was berating Chris because there was poop stains on a shirt, which I've never even seen.
Poop, dude.
That was fucking poop stains on his shirt, and the shirt was soaking wet. And then Don, who thought that I was being too hard, he's like, he's terrified of you, Ron. You've got to. He was telling me that Chris is terrified. But
Chris just did a spit take.
But then he goes like this. So Don is protecting Chris from me because I'm going up with a person that style matters to, right?
Oh yeah.
A man that has put together himself with high heels and makeup and a great clutch bag. And I mean, he looked, Eddie Izzard was dressed to kill, as we say.
Mm-hmm.
But then, so I don't want him to see Chris. But then Don just goes like this. Chris, isn't that the same shirt from yesterday? You know that Don's thinking that you're not a detail guy, right?
Yes.
And that's keeping any movement. Yeah, I mean, your career is never going to move because of what you've done over the last few years.
Speaking of which, because I thought I was going to be in the room doing the warm-up, handling the mic when you're doing questions from the crowd, I'm all dressed up, and that was the first thing you said is, "Oh, that's so sad that I missed it, and I come walking up with my heels and my little dress." And I was like,
unfortunately,
I missed the date.
You still would have been shut down by Eddie Izzard. I mean, he had a team put him together. But at least that unlike Vito, who doesn't lay them. I'm not going to listen to this because I kept watching him lay the mic down, not put it back in his stand. lay it down on some boxes so that every time I called for him, he had to go back, find the mic, lift it up, and walk across the room. Dan, I'm so excited about this Laugh USA because I got away from my team. I was in a vacation area.
Right. For one solitary, really nice hour on the 37th floor, you got away. No.
You know what? Seriously.
No, maybe you're...
Gail and I were drinking boat drinks. And I was going to...
Boat drinks?
I said to Gail,
I take care of my...
I said to Gail, Lake Dan is beautiful this time of year.
Oh, I always try to get to Lake Dan every summer.
I mean, you will hear an hour of a show, which we recorded in an hour. We recorded it real time.
It was so smooth.
Yeah. And coming out of breaks, Gail's laughing because she's enjoying the comedy that I know. Like if Chris is producing for us like that, we're always coming back like this. What the fuck did you play that for, Chris?
Every time.
I thought you would have liked it.
It's a guy. It sounded like he was fingering his dog.
I did get caught like enjoying myself throughout this special. Like one, I'm like back selling, just going, oh goodness, this is a delight. This is a delight, Dan.
So, Chris, maybe you take a page out of my book and take some notes and
I'm
apply
not
it to
notes
your
of Disco Dan.
No,
you should, dude. You should.
I think I have a lot of positive attributes.
If we started talking about Lake Chris, I'd be happy. Jack in PA, what's up, buddy?
Armpit.
Yeah.
You and Gail and Chris make me laugh every day.
Thank you.
And remembering back in 1976 or 7, living in Washington, D.C. in Georgetown, there was a club known as the Bayou, back when disco was taking over. Talked some friends into going to see James Cotton. Who the hell's that?
Great, James Cotton.
Playing with Eric Clapton, and I got bitched at because it cost $5.
Yeah, people, the shows were almost free in those days. Here's Audrey, also in D.C. D.C. calls today. What is it, Chris?
Hey, Ron. Hey, Gail. I found a shoebox. I'm dating an older man. We've been together about 20 years. And when we first moved in together, I found a shoebox of his old ticket stubs, and I mounted them on a poster. And I went from, chronological order and realized he saw Led Zeppelin, Pink Floyd, Eric Clapton, or Derek and the Dominoes for under $10 each.
Yeah.
And by the time I met him, he was taking me to concerts where, not only were these people unavailable, but it cost hundreds of dollars. And one of them was to go to England to see Robert Plant and Jimmy Page and Eric Clapton perform on the same stage. And I think maybe Ringo Starr was even on there. So I'm like, I've got to fly to England and pay like $600 to see these people that you saw for under $10. So I can't even look at this poster anymore because it just makes my head want to explode. That I was in diapers when this guy was, throwing up on the row in front of him for $10. Seeing these classic acts.
Life is funny. Life is, but I wonder if people feel that way, like about concert tickets, because comedy concert tickets, because you can go. Like, there's still nights here that is like $5, and you'll see like great comedians, like 5 or 6 of them. But it's just because it's a Tuesday in the city.
Yeah.
Please save your tickets from the stand. That's what I'm saying. I'm there tonight. Tomorrow night, Friday night, and Saturday night this week. These may be just my farewell shows.
Your farewell shows?
Yeah, I'm too busy. I got Dan thing with Laugh USA. I've got Chris. I got 5 bits.
We got to think ahead to Q4.
What is Q4? I didn't even know there was a Q4.
See, he opened up a world to you that you don't understand with Don. When Don just rushes to us, is like, hey, would you do this special? And we're just like, yeah, I guess. I don't know. But he has to hand this stuff in, right? You have to let the bosses know that you got something picked out great for this.
Right.
Just like in school, it's like saying this semester.
That's my project.
Yeah. Eric, Colorado, what's up?
Hey, Bennington.
Hey, man.
Hey, so a friend of mine posted this on Facebook the other day. Red Rocks Amphitheater, arguably one of the most beautiful amphitheaters in the country.
In history.
Yeah, this is from the summer of 1977. This is their concert lineup. And you could have seen all of these shows for $200 combined.
Okay.
You got Jackson Browne for $6.50. He was here, I think it was 2 years ago in Denver, and the tickets were like $100 a piece. Willie Nelson for $6.50. Boz Scaggs for $7. Chris Christopherson for $7. Colorado Music Night, which was all kinds of Colorado bands, for $6.50. Herbie Hancock and a bunch of others for $6.50. America for $7.
No, that's not much.
Jerry Jeff Walker for $6.50. Joni Mitchell for $7.
Yes, we get it. Everybody was out there for anywhere between $5.50 and $7.
What's the tally at right now?
Yeah, but it's like you look at this.
Can you find the mean or the average?
I can. I'll do fucking $6.75. $6.75. Yeah, but you are you're correct. It was much cheaper then. Much cheaper. And you could fuck in the aisles. People don't bring up that, but while this is happening, you could get blown and no one would be acting like this ruined our life. Like this, it wouldn't end up going viral. This fucking woman was giving somebody a lap dance.
Yeah.
With her dress pulled up on a plane. Now, is that a weird thing to do? Yeah, it is. I'm not going to lie to you.
It's weird.
It's a fucking strange thing to do. But why does everybody on the planet now have to have something to do with this? This is something that just, you see they're not bothering anybody.
No. And they said explicit content, and it's not that explicit. She's sitting on his lap.
It's a grind.
Yeah.
What flight is this? Like,
this is like fucking, yeah. It's like Manchester to
Ibiza.
To where?
To Ibiza.
So, I mean, it's for people that are fucked up. Those English people are so hammered on fucking planes. They're hammered.
And on the ground. They get fucked up.
Well, yes, that's what I'm saying, though. On the ground, of course. I mean, it's not happening on the plane, of course. But a lot of times they go to see
their altitude, really.
their favorite football teams.
Right.
And so they're drunk the entire time. But see, no one in the row was looking over. Why are people on the other side of the... Now we're finding out she's got a child, she's married, he's getting married in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
All this shit shouldn't matter to... This is a guy a girl's grinding while they're drunk. Who's the bother?
Her boyfriend came out and said, she made me look like kind of a dick, but it's not a big deal.
First of all, you're already a dick. You live in fucking Manchester, okay? You haven't gotten over Oasis yet. I was reading something about, actually Rustin sent it to me. Steve Earle, our co-worker. And he likes the Arsenal football team, which I'm 90% of deciding that's my team. I can't get that into it. But now Steve Earle could push me over the edge. And then he brought up about his wife not being with him anymore. And he goes, yeah, she traded me in for a thinner, less talented singer-songwriter. And I'm like, this is uncomfortable because I love both these guys and his ex-wife, and mainly his ex-wife's sister. But everybody I like in that.
Yeah.
But you remember when we saw them in the hall and like the Shelby Lynn thing was like, I felt like the air left my lungs.
Oh, yeah. And she's so incredibly talented and
she's
amazing,
unbelievable.
But so sexy and so stylish. Like when she walked up, you were immediately just like so drawn. Like you can't look away from.
I know.
Just like crazy magnetic.
And then, like she doesn't even. She has that thing where like, yeah, okay, I guess I'm sexy, but I'm ignoring you while that's happening. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't care that you feel that way. I don't care that your breath is gone. I'm tired of dealing with it. Today is such a good day. I just hope nothing ruins it. You know what I mean? I'm so happy just knowing that the big Q3 thing is going out. And I'm not going to let anything ruin this day. That was a setup that the person lost. Crazy, are you there?
Hey, how you doing, Ronnie?
I set you up.
I got to tell you something.
God.
I got a little conundrum. okay? And I'm on
conundrum.
The conundrum.
Yeah.
And I'm on antipsychotics, so my therapist said it's better to talk to you because I can't afford a real therapist,
Can
right?
I tell you something? It sounds like you're on pro, not anti-psychotic. It's a pro-psychotic.
No, it's anti. So listen, so this is about like people just like you said, just like minding their own business, like that lady on the plane.
Please, just get to your point. That's what I'm
All right.
asking you to do.
So I'm at the winery in Northern Virginia, right?
Like just slow it down.
I like that was followed with it, right?
You're not at a vineyard. You're at a winery.
Yeah, I'm at it because they have like a drunk bus where you like they take you from winery to winery, so
think
you
they
don't
call it a
like,
drunk
drive. Yeah, but before I start, I want to say that Jen is white and black, so I don't want to offend either side of her. Okay.
Okay.
Oh God.
All right, because I'm just saying. So I'm there with my Korean friend, right?
Oh, why
He's
does
like,
that matter?
It's because it's pertinent. Is that a word, pertinent?
Yes, it is. You used it
It is a
correctly
word.
too.
I did use it correctly. All right.
So you're on you're at the winery with a Korean friend.
Yeah, and he's dressed up like Mario, right? Because he thought it'd be funny to go to the Korean thing, or it wasn't Korean thing, the winery dressed up like Mario.
What?
For a moment, did you think that wineries were Korean?
Wait,
but I
think that was a good idea?
It's funny. You know what I
Because
mean?
he thought, because that's my people.
Yeah.
Not the Koreans, but like the Mario guy, but the Koreans too. But
Just let it go.
So I'm sitting there, right? And then we're talking about like Koreans like having little penises and like can't drive and stuff, like joking around.
Yes.
And this white girl, like long blonde hair, she comes up to me, she taps me on the shoulder, and I turn around slowly. She was like, "Excuse me." She was like, "You're being racist." and I look around, and I said, "This ain't none of your business." I'm sitting here talking to my Korean friend about little penises, right?
Yeah.
So then I go to so I'm actually with the black guy too, right?
Oh my God.
Yeah, no. That's not a joke. That's not like the
But
Korean and black
no one
guy
was
at the
laughing.
winery.
No one was laughing. So you're with a black guy.
Yeah, with the black guy too. And so he's at the winery, and so then I can't find him.
Right.
So I get nervous because now I'm a little drinking and like I'm on the antipsychotics. So I go in the middle of the crowd, like it's all like white people, and I said, "Excuse me, white people. I have seen Deliverance. Have you all seen my black friend?" Because it was like all woody and stuff like that. So then,
All right. By the way, Jen, just so we know, I've seen Deliverance. There's not a black guy in the movie.
Ain't that the black guy always gets killed in the movie?
He wasn't on the boat. There wasn't a black guy in Deliverance. You're thinking of
the white guy got killed?
Ned Beatty got fucked in the ass. Is what happened.
Well, there's a movie in West Virginia where a black guy gets killed.
First of all, you weren't in West Virginia. You were in Virginia. And second of all, there was no black guy in Deliverance. There was no reason to say this to the white people. All right, so what did they do?
All right, so then the same white girl that was on the drunk bus.
Oh, no.
Yeah, she taps me on the shoulder again. And then she says, "Excuse me." And I'm like, "Are you being fucking for real?" I was like, "Did you follow me?" And she's like, "No, I was on the drunk bus." She was like, "You're being racist again." And so
I don't know who that girl is, but I admire her for trying.
No, but listen, how are you going to get on your soapbox and just because this conversation had nothing to do with you? And
You were yelling out to everyone. You have now opened it up by saying, "White people, pay attention to me. I can't find my black friend. I believe he's being banged in the ass like Ned Beatty was."
But he could have been.
Yes.
But he could have been. And then.
By the way, let me just stop you for a second.
Go ahead.
Did you? Never mind. Go ahead. I want you to go back to it. Go ahead.
All right.
I want you to finish.
So then there's one more stop, right? You ain't gonna fucking believe this, right? So I'm at the third winery, and then there's another black guy. I don't know where he came from, but he's out with other white people, and he keeps talking to me, and like I don't know. I was a little drinking, and he's telling me he's an astronaut. And I was like, "What, you from Aliens?" He was like, "Oh, you thought I was the astronaut from Aliens?" I said, "No, motherfucker, I thought you were the alien." And so
That's great
then
stuff.
I got the tap on the shoulder again. And this time we'll call my husband Pickles.
Yes.
He comes up.
Yeah. Pickles.
On my shoulder. Go ahead.
What was he saying? Stop flirting with fucking minorities and please get back on the bus.
He's telling me that I've gone too far.
Yes.
But really? Because, like, my friend Crystal, like, we had this conversation, and she's black. Not to say, like, I know black people, because maybe, and I asked her, I said, Crystal, I said, why is this so racist? I said, when people say watermelon and barbecue to black people,
right.
I said, no. I said, listen, I said, I am white and I eat watermelon and barbecue.
Right.
And she came up with some shit saying, well, that goes back to how we were raised. And I was like, really? She was like, no, I don't fucking know.
Mm-hmm.
But I have a poem.
Oh my God, this ends with a poem.
Okay, I'm going to end it with the poem. Are you ready?
Not really.
Can I have some background music?
Do you have some nice poem?
Play the theme to Deliverance.
That's a good idea.
No. All right. This is called Ode to the White.
Oh no.
I was just about to do my poem, Ronnie. I'm out there at the winery with my black friend, my Korean friend. Get tapped on the shoulder saying I'm racist, Ronnie.
You can't mix alcohol and antipsychotics.
I do.
See if you can get her
And
back.
then, I love it. And then.
And why would she share any of these stories? Why share? It sounded like she had an incredibly embarrassing day. And why share? Just keep it to yourself.
Gosh.
Did we call her back, Vito?
They're calling her back now.
What takes so long?
No, we don't have her back yet.
Why not?
I think give them her number.
Why don't they have it?
I don't know.
I want to hear about the watermelon.
I want to hear the poem.
I don't know what the hell was...
I like the Deliverance reference.
The Deliverance reference came out of nowhere.
I've seen Deliverance. Where is my black friend?
But why would you just not just laugh if you saw that? Why would you try to correct her? All right, while we're waiting to get her back on the line. So when it comes to Deliverance, Ned Beatty did get raped.
Mm-hmm.
In that movie, John Voight was in the movie, and Burt Reynolds was in Delivery. And Gilbert Gottfried did this long fucking bit of going, why, when you have the chance to butt fuck Burt Reynolds or John Voight, do you pick fat Ned Beatty? And it went on and on and on. And it's some of the funniest shit I've ever heard in my life. And the logic to it is stunning. Who do you bang? John Voight or Burt Reynolds?
John Voight.
Based on just to do it to a Republican?
I think if I feel good. He's a pretty man, too.
In my circumstance, I would be pegging. And I would choose Burt Reynolds, for sure.
Today or all time?
Either time.
All right, Jen, we're sorry we got cut off from you.
Oh, I thought you hung up on me. I thought I was too much.
No. We were about... You explained everything, but is this poem, is it based upon the winery trip?
It's based upon just everything, just society in general. You can't make jokes anymore. You can't you can't everybody's so touchy feely.
Well, first of all, honey, at no point could you ever make a joke. You don't have the skill set. We laugh at you, not with you. Okay?
Yeah.
Your idea of a joke is to tell us something.
If CK was Mexican, I would never be making Mexican jokes.
Okay.
Are you there?
Yeah, kind of. We got a much worse fucking connection now. Do you guys hear this?
Yeah.
As the producers? Wouldn't that be the thing for the producers to worry about, not the host? Do we need to call her back?
Call her back, Vito, on a different line. 11.
Yeah, call me back on 11. That's my best phone.
All right, we're going to call you right back. Hard Rock Johnny wants to jump in this. Hey, Johnny.
I don't even know how to follow any of this.
Dude, there's no difference between you and her. Just so you know.
Come
that.
on, I know the difference. I know there was
Ron,
no black
we're
guy in
going
delivery.
crab in this weekend.
I got the famous pants and everything, Ronnie.
Johnny asked me if I wanted to FaceTime and watch him crabbing this weekend. And I'm like, no.
Meanwhile, then someone FaceTime me. I'm not going to say who, but someone FaceTime me instead.
This goes back to the other day when we recorded. So I've got the phone in my pocket. It hits FaceTime, which I don't even know. And Johnny... And he listened to us record that entire hour.
Wait, it was on?
Yes.
I did not listen to the entire hour. I was there like 30 seconds. I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Why do you say it like that, Johnny? Like it's shitty. It was fucking great.
Oh, it was amazing. It was amazing 30 seconds. But
all right. What is it that you want, Johnny, other than the hurt feelings?
I'm too hurt to even think now.
Why are you hurt? This didn't happen.
You said I'm just like crazy Jen.
All right, let me put Jen back on then. Hold on. Jen?
No, hey, Ronnie. And now it even goes beyond black and white and Chinese and Dominican or whatever. I was getting my hair done right by this woman. And listen, no, this goes with it. And she was Brazilian. She didn't hardly speak any English, but she had blonde hair. And she said, people say to me, Happy Cinco de Mayo, and I don't even know what that shit is. I didn't know that was a Mexican holiday.
All right. This has nothing to do with anything that you were talking about earlier.
I thought that was racist, too.
Well, no one wants you to be racist. Stop being racist.
No, I'm not allowed to be racist. But how come you could make Polak jokes and Irish jokes, but you can't make jokes about the Mexicans?
By the way, you can't make those jokes without offending people. Now, Jen,
what if it's funny?
It isn't.
A little?
No, nothing that you say. The only thing that I ever laughed at that you told me is when a sibling passed away, and I laughed for 3 days.
Chinese people running an Italian pizza shop is funny.
Okay. You have a poem that you wanted to tell us?
Yes, I did, because this is how I'm trying to get away from Chick-fil-A and daycare, and I'm trying to be a published author.
Good.
So this is what I want to read. Okay, you got background music? All right. Oh, to the white girl, your skin is so fair, with your bleached blonde blue tinted Revlon 220 hair, because everybody's hair is blue now, if you haven't noticed. You stand on your soapbox and judge all the rest, while your half Dominican, half Latino, sometimes Chinese boyfriend holds both your breasts. My words do offend you when I talk about race. You tell me it's the white man that can't give you space. But just wait, my white friend, while you stand there and sneer, while I sit with my hood friends and tell racist jokes, and they hand me my beer. Because I want to tell you this, too. People think it's white privilege, but I don't have no privilege. And I was taking the yoga class with the prisoners up in Connecticut, and there was a little white girl there, and she was talking about everything I said offended her because she had a black boyfriend, and she was no more than 18.
Did the poem stop? The poem?
What happened?
I didn't know when
was the poem over?
Yeah, the poem was over.
What was the last line? I thought it was.
Oh, you didn't get the last line?
No.
Oh, I apologize. All right. But just wait, my white friend, while you stand there and sneer, while I sit with my hood friends and tell racist jokes. And they hand me my beer. Because I couldn't find another word while I would sneer.
She flowed again into a full conversation.
When the poem ends, stop talking. Don't just pick up, because we still think it's the poem.
Oh my God, that was a while ago.
You're taking it in.
No, we're not taking it in. We're letting you know that it's fucking insane. Now,
but let me ask you a question.
All right, let me just stop for a second. So Chris is supposed to be playing the Deliverance song, and I'm like, I keep going. What is the? He's not playing the famous fucking banjo song. He's playing something.
Ding 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 ding
ding ding ding ding ding ding
ding ding. That's the.
Listen how she thinks everything is the Rocky theme.
Ding ding ding.
Play the fucking dueling banjos, Chris.
Ding 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 ding. Oh yeah. That's what I'm talking about. That's like me in Northern Virginia at the winery. Picture it here. Me and my black friend lost in the woods. Me stumbling around through the white people. I can't find him. Where'd the music go? Oh, there it goes. And then I stand in the crowd and I say, white people all gather. I have lost my black friend and I have seen deliverance. I know what you people did to him, but he was in the drunk bus.
All right.
And he comes stumbling out. And his girlfriend's Puerto Rican now, too. But I'm all for it, like, everybody date. And you know what? And somebody came up to me and they said, you know how many genders there are? And I'm like, I don't know, 50, because this is a fucking trick question. We don't even have boys and girls anymore.
Can I just say something, Jen? You sound exactly like Trump got elected president. This is what the election sounds like.
I love everybody.
Now, Jen?
But I'm all for a bad joke, too. Yes.
I want you to hang up now and then sit in a chair and think I made a bad phone call over and over and over.
No. Ronnie, I want you to have your callers call up and say, you know what? I think like Crazy Jen, but I was afraid in my heart to say, I should have told that joke. I should have talked to that black person, not because I should have talked to a black person, but should I talk to a black person?
All right, just goodbye, Jen.
All right, goodbye. Hey, y'all have a good day. Hey, Jen, I'm sorry what side I offended you on.
Okay.
All right.
Very good.
Goodbye.
It always weirds me out when she's talking to our Jen and she goes, "Hey, Jen, I think she's talking." I think she sees herself.
Lost it.
Yeah.
Oh, she's really not lost it now.
Hey, John, what's up, buddy?
Hey, Bennington.
Yeah.
I have to say, Ron, my lawyer is going to call you. Jen gave me radio cancer.
You know what? I'll tell my lawyer just to settle. I don't even want to read your deposition. I will just fucking settle. Make it a group suit. Yeah.
I wish I was on that ball field yesterday, but I'll
too soon.
Talk to you later. I had to throw that joke in. Bye.
Diane.
Hi, guys.
Hey, darling.
Burt Reynolds is a massive asshole. Years ago, he went on the Johnny Carson show, and he was talking about the scene in Deliverance where Ned Beatty got it in the ass.
Yeah.
And he said that the actor that was doing it to him wasn't really an actor. He was just some backwoods guy they found, and that he actually did it. He didn't realize he was supposed to fake doing it, that he actually did it.
That's a funny joke.
Well, but, okay, if it actually happened, he's an ass for saying that on national television, and if it didn't happen, he's an ass for saying it.
I think he's a very funny man. I think Burt Reynolds is a very funny man, and
he said it really happened.
Yeah, he said it really happened because the fucking people were too backwoods to know what acting was. When you see that movie, there were still people. Well, there even is now in Jersey. There's people that live so far out in the sticks, and this is close to New York City, and they're so fucking bizarre that you'd be afraid if you got caught in their neighborhood.
Yeah.
And the inbreeding. And I'm not going to say who they are because they're so happy. They're so happy.
Oh, gosh.
But it's true. And one of them runs a Hard Rock in Times Square right now.
Wait a minute.
Johnny, thanks for holding.
That was a bizarre thing to be on and listening to.
Well, I told her, I mean, she was banned for a long time from calling. The difference between her and BL is that BL attempts to do that to me in my real life. BL is coming up here in July, and I'm basing our vacation around it. But at one point she said to me, "You promised me I could co-host while you were gone." I go, BL, that's not even up to me. And he's like, "Why?" She's like, "Why can't you?" I said to her, I go, "I'm going to give you everyone's number here. We have 160 radio stations. Surely one will take you. It can't be my fucking only call. If you're so good at radio, they'll put you somewhere."
trying to think where she'd fit in. What channel?
I'm going to give her Wiki's number.
Wiki, don't lose that number.
Earlier, I thought you were talking about Wiki when you said there was a man with a clutch and heels. I thought
Johnny, come on. We don't do
sure.
homophobic jokes anymore. This isn't 2016, my friend.
Those are cowboy
Chris Stanley
boots.
on the show.
What's that?
Chris Stanley's still on the show, so you must be doing homophobic jokes.
Oh, Johnny.
Good God.
No wonder you eat so many crabs. You're taking tomorrow off and heading to the shore, right, Johnny?
I certainly am taking the day off tomorrow.
People in New York do that. They take their Fridays off.
Summer Fridays.
We will be playing, we'll be here and doing what I consider one of the great Father's Day specials of all time.
Right. May I say the times?
Yes, please do.
So Friday, premiering tomorrow on Raw Dog, Friday, 1 p.m. East.
Yeah.
And
that's it? That's the only times?
No, in fact,
saying the time.
the Comedy Dad special premieres tomorrow at 1 p.m. here on Raw Dog 99, and it'll replay on Laugh USA Channel 98 tomorrow at 6 p.m., Saturday at 12, 3, and 10 p.m., as well as on Sunday at 10 a.m., 1 p.m., 5 p.m., and 8 p.m. East.
Wow.
And it'll feature the comedic stylings of Jim Brewer, Ray Romano, Nate Bargatze, Tom Papa, Al Madrigal, Brian Regan, and Jim Gaffigan. And if you listen on Raw Dog tomorrow, little director's cut.
Oh, yeah. You added a couple of cursing people.
I did.
He's like, I got to give something to the raw doggies out there.
Yeah. So should I leave that as a surprise?
No, go ahead and tell people because
all right. There's a great bit from Big J from his new special, and also one from Kevin Hart.
Kevin Hart and Big J. Philly is not permitted to go around people who don't curse.
I know, that was the funniest thing is the raw dog cut just means Philly comics.
Yeah. So, you will hear it the way it was supposed to be done.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of, he's saying that we add it for Raw Dog, but the fact is he just took off those.
It's more of a subtraction for Laugh USA.
Now, this is funny. So, Louis J. Gomez has put up Ari Shaffir unmasked with Ron Bennington at Skankfest. Wow! Like he's so excited, but he's not pointing out he's a producer of Skankfest. He's acting like he's just hearing this now and wants to get tickets immediately.
Wow!
Yeah. Wow!
I'm surprised at my own producing.
But I think you have to. I've never done this before with an unmasked, but I guess I have when we went to Austin.
Yeah.
But this time it's just for the festival people.
Yes, so you have.
I don't know whether you've seen the Skank Festival people. I did last year.
Yeah.
And they all look like you would expect them to be friends with Big J.
Yes, they do. They do look. There's a type.
Mm-hmm.
There's like a type.
They're just lucky that you don't have to pay per tattoo, or they'd be broke. Vito, no tattoos for you, right?
No, never got any.
Are you coming out that night? You can see your ex.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'll run into her there.
On stage?
Yeah.
I didn't know that was part of the festival.
She got booked. It's pretty exciting.
Yeah, it is part of the festival. All right, Johnny. See you tomorrow at Crab Fest.
Yes. Goodbye, Bennington.
Peace. Here's our buddy Ken in Rhode Island. Ken, how you doing, pal?
Well, now I know what it's like to try to follow Elvis, but
being on after Crazy Jen, huh?
Yeah. Well, what I called about was something you were talking about a while back, which was I played the old guy card to tell you that when I saw the Beatles in Atlantic City in 1964, it cost me $3.90. So
was that just a pure scream fest? Could you even hear the band?
The funny thing is that it was a pure scream fest, and the best way to hear the band was to put your fingers in your ears because it cut out all the highs, so you could kind of hear the low end. What's even more remarkable when you think about it is how they heard themselves, because there were no monitors in those days.
Insane.
And yet if you listen to the live stuff like the Hollywood Bowl, they do it, perfectly. So
I don't know how they did that. It's still a mystery.
Wow, when would be the addition of monitors so the band would be able to hear themselves? Because then you're thinking that's the first time that you would have had huge audiences. So that came first before that addition?
Oh, yeah. Well, if you look if you even see them when they played Shea, there isn't any like stacks of, you know what I mean?
Right.
They're just down. And they didn't even think of putting people on the field. They were just by themselves on the field with everybody screaming all around them. It was insane.
I think it's correct to say that when they played Shea, they used the stadium sound system, like the one that announces.
Like the PA announcer would use.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, and I think monitors probably came in. I'm going to say in the late '60s, I'm going to say in the late '60s.
Here's my guess. I'm gonna think maybe it was the Dead because they were the ones that started to figure out.
Yeah.
Maybe even Zap. Look at that. Look how ridiculous.
Holy
just
shit.
playing there without thinking, hey, we could sell another fucking 50,000 tickets if we put people in the field. Now, here's the other weird thing. So, Cousin Brucey did the stage announcements there.
That is
Cousin
so
Brucey
cool.
did the, ladies and gentlemen, the Beatles or whatever.
That is the coolest thing ever.
Right.
All right, good to talk to you, Ken. Peace.
Okay, Ron, thanks.
Peace.
Have a good weekend.
And I think I'm trying to think of which Beatles movie it was. It might be Hard Day's Night, but they're playing a concert in a theater and the kids are screaming. This is not like this is like extras they're playing for. But there's this kid there with his older sister and it's Phil Collins. Phil Collins is one of the kids.
Wow.
Like, yay, the Beatles. And he's like, 12 years old or
That's
11
so
years
sweet.
old. Yeah. Well, it was really weird when you look back in those Swinging London days and all that. It was a very small scene. You know what I mean? Like, it
Right.
wasn't like a lot of clubs and a lot of things. You know what I mean?
I mean,
It
they
was-
probably didn't even have I guess like some theaters, but like they wouldn't even have the like setup for like massive shows.
I told you guys before to go back and look at that. I think it's a 64, 65 Rolling Stones documentary. It's just unbelievable. They never make it through a show. They never make it through a show because the kids fucking bum rush the stage at every show. Just part of every show was,
how many songs can we actually get in?
Yeah.
Before
And
this goes sideways.
I don't know what they would do. Like, hey, we had a terrible show tonight. No one rushed. I think we stink. Bob, Florida.
Yeah, I recommend if you haven't seen it, The Long Strange Trip on Amazon. You were talking about monitors and how they were developed, and I believe they attributed Owsley Stanley was.
It was Owsley, yeah. That's what I was. The same guy who came up with Asset was working the sound system.
Wow.
But I haven't seen this yet. But that was going to be my guess. That it
Highly
was,
recommended, Ron.
Yeah, I have it. I just haven't done it. It's like what, 3 or 4 hours?
It's about 4 hours. It's in 6 parts. They're broken up.
You know
around
what? I'll
50
do it
minutes
this
apiece.
weekend. Let's talk.
You'll enjoy it.
Yeah, I'm caught up tonight, so I won't be able to talk about it tomorrow. But by the end of the weekend, I'll watch all 6 parts. I don't know. Did you guys see Fargo last night?
No, I didn't.
Unfucking believable.
Is it a good episode?
It's unbelievable. The women in the show are so good. Every one of them. They're fucking outstanding.
I think this is the best season.
I know. I won't say that. Matter of fact, early in the season, I'm like, this is moving too slow for me. And now I'm like breathless watching it.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going to happen. Like, I can look at that show. Is the next one the end of this? Are we almost
10.
at the end?
I think yesterday was 9.
I can honestly say, I don't know who's going to live or die by the time we get to this. Would not be surprised to see Evil win. I would not be surprised at all. Such a good fucking show. Remember the other day when we did Bennington Barometer and I'm like, I picked Better Call Saul?
Yeah.
Today I might even make a different thing.
You might flip.
Yeah. Well, I'm like Donald Trump. Whoever the last person I talk to. That's how I
That guy's
feel.
smart.
I don't know whether you guys watched the news last night. So everyone decided, hey, the Democrats and Republicans really got to start talking nice about each other. That's why this guy got shot. Not that it was another lone nut but somehow it's the problem of people who, call in to talk radio, and it gets insane people even more insane. But then they started talking about this baseball game, like they've played this baseball game for 100 years, and they acted like we've all cherished.
What?
It's like the first time I even heard
I didn't know that
about
was a
this
thing.
game. And just your fucking hero, Brian Williams, is just
My hero? I hate him.
as summer dawns upon us. It's a time once again for the Democrats and Republicans to play a game. We'll pick up the shells and play on this very field. I'm fucking yelling at my TV. No, that's a fucking murder scene. So you're not going to be playing on that field, Brian Williams. He acted like they were going to go back and play on the same fucking field where this lunatic was shooting people up.
They're slipping a shell casing.
And they're trying to figure out where this guy went weird and whether we should worry about every troll who's online.
I saw also like some paper was bringing up his height. I was like, hey, come on.
Why? He's too short?
He's short. I'm like,
how tall is he?
A lot of rage
Excuse
there.
me.
The Daily Mail had 5'6", a 5'6" shooter lives in a van, but it led off with 5'6". I don't know why.
First of all, why would the Daily Mail use our fucking measurements? Why wouldn't they do their own?
I know.
Why wouldn't he say he's 3 pence tall and weighs over 2 stones? John, Wisconsin.
Yeah, I think I got the actual answer for the monitors question.
Yeah.
When did that start? It was 1965. The Beatles played a stadium in Atlanta, and there was a local guy who ran sound and apparently did a fantastic job and gave them monitors on the stage, and they were, I guess, amazed at how well they could hear themselves. And,
Was no one from jazz ever using monitors?
That's, from what I understand, that's the first time the Beatles used them.
Yeah.
The Beatles were the first ones to do stadium shows, so that's my understanding. That's when it started, and they actually tried to hire the guy to take him on the road to do sound, but he turned them down.
And that guy went on to become President Jimmy Carter. And now you know the rest of the story. Hey, John, what's up, buddy?
Hey, Ronnie B.
Hey.
I was going to ask you, have you seen Shimmer Lake on Netflix?
No, this is the first I'm hearing of it.
It's kind of got a Fargo feel to it. It's only about an hour and a half long movie, but it's very Fargo-esque.
What is it, Shimmer?
Shimmer Lake.
Shimmer Lake. It's got Rainn Wilson in it from The Office.
Yeah. He's a nut. All right, Shimmer Lake.
Shimmer Lake.
I'm going to take a gander at Shimmer Lake. Hey, Mike in Jersey. Mike, what's up?
Hey, Ron, how you doing? First of all, I just want to tell you, I love your show. You guys crack me up. You guys are
Thank you very
absolutely
much.
great. Keep it up. I was listening to you, and you're talking about the Beatles.
Yeah.
And I can't remember which movie it was. I'm not sure if it was Help or Hard Day's Night. And I'm cracking up to myself as you're talking about the Beatles. I don't know if you remember the one scene. You hear the music in the background. It's black and white. And the 4 lads are running up the street. And I can't remember which one it was, but he trips. And he face plants so hard. I cannot believe he didn't.
I think it's George Harrison.
Yeah, George does. I kind of remember because he's lanky.
And the fact that they were
Bang,
laughing while they were running,
Yeah.
this is nuts. Hard Day's Night's unbelievably good film. It's from a film point of view.
I haven't seen it since I was a kid, so I feel like I should rewatch it.
I had a dream that we were asked to do a takeover on the Beatles channel.
Really?
Yeah,
That would be a dream.
I know. I was told by one of the VPs, yeah, as soon as we settle in, we'll have you guys do a takeover. And it stayed in my mind because I feel like, no offense to all the stars that they get, I feel like we'd be much better at it. I feel like we'd be better than Eddie Vedder. Who else have they got doing takeovers? It's crazy.
Yeah, I heard John Mayer, I think.
I'm
Someone like that. Neil deGrasse Tyson was one.
Oh, yeah, Neil deGrasse Tyson came up with the scientific thing of how far the Beatles were from the sun at any given time. What is it, Chris?
We do a live read.
Why is that such a nerve-wracking thing for you? He gets over it and he'll just... Have you heard this going on for a while? Why is that? What is it about the live read that gets you nervous? You're literally nervous about it.
I just want to make sure they all get done over the course of the day.
I know, but why is it done as if it's a weird secret? By the way, today we're getting one of the great producers and drummers of all time, Steve Jordan, is going to be here. Well, I'm sure he's doing a Beatles takeover, right?
Yeah, he's got to. He'd be perfect for it.
Now, it gets even more exciting. He's just produced, well, he's producing a lot of albums, but the great Robert Cray is going to be with him, who, in my opinion, truly one of the greats of all time.
Such a great musician and such an incredible voice.
Great
Cray.
songwriter, Robert Cray and Steve Jordan here in just a little bit. So we're not going to have time to do these live reads. The live reads will not be done.
Reschedule.
You should just do this one at least, please.
Let me just try to see if I like it. And it's weird just to start Ring's mission. I don't even mention who Ring is. I just say Ring's mission is to make neighborhoods safer. Today, over 1 million people use the amazing Ring video doorbell to help protect their homes. Ring knows home security begins at the front door, but it doesn't end there.
So now they're extending that same level of security to the rest of your home with the Ring Floodlight Cam. Just like Ring's amazing doorbell, Floodlight Cam is a motion-activated camera and floodlight that connects right to your phone with HD video and two-way audio that lets you know the moment anyone steps on your property.
See and speak to visitors, even set off an alarm right from your phone. With Ring's Floodlight Cam, when things go bump in the night, you'll immediately know what it is, whether at home or away. The Ring Floodlight Cam lets you keep an eye on your home from anywhere.
Ring Floodlight offers the ultimate in home security with high visibility floodlights and a powerful HD camera that puts security in your hands. With Ring, you're always home. Save up to $150 off Ring of Security Kit when you go to ring.com/comedy. Ring.com/comedy. That's ring.com/comedy.
It's the Bennington show. Tomorrow it's kind of the kickoff to the Father's Day weekend. We've got Comedy Dads playing. And then also tomorrow on the show right after that, the Jim Gaffigan Town Hall. Jim Gaffigan, very fortunate not to be raising his children by himself.
I know. It was a big scare for their family, so I'm glad everything seems like it's working out.
He probably would have had to get rid of 2 or 3 of the kids if his wife passed away. You can't do it.
Adoption?
Whatever it is. I think at most a man can raise 1 child. I don't think he can raise 2.
Yeah. At that point, yeah. And I think you've got to go for the youngest. The youngest got to go. Like the oldest got in first. Probably easier for the man to raise.
Oh, I didn't even think of it that way. Which one would you get rid of?
If you have 5 kids and you're getting rid of 3, you're keeping top 2.
But still, the youngest is like the funnest. You know what I mean? The youngest still doesn't think that things suck all the time.
Maybe you keep the oldest and the youngest because hopefully the oldest is old enough to help you take care of the baby.
I never trust any boy to take care of a baby. Only girls can. Jen, are you coming in the dish with us today?
Yes, I'm going to come in.
All right. Switch out for with that idiot Vito. Have that idiot start playing the song right away. Because Dan never gets the dish with us, and you are a gossip.
Oh, my God.
That's how I began.
Most of your troubles here are because of your gossiping.
Right, it all stems from that years later.
Yeah. But, you used to have some good friends here.
I know, and then I sacrificed them all for a bit.
Yeah.
And, it was worth it.
Now... Well, I'm not going to get into it, but you're a talker. You're a rumor spreader.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Jen obviously is.
Yeah.
I don't think me or Gail is big into that thing. And Chris not only doesn't spread gossip, but he has who that person is, no matter who it is.
Right.
He's never exactly sure who it is.
The strange thing is, I don't have a moral code against it.
Yeah.
Like, if somebody comes up, I got some gossip for you, I'll be like, do you? But I don't seek out gossip. Like, there are people who are like, what's the dirt? I know.
I like to know what's going on.
Are you the biggest gossip at SiriusXM?
I am top 6.
All right. Who else would you say is a big gossip here?
Let's see.
Because I think E-Rock's pretty good at it.
Yeah.
E-Rock's. Liam is a gossip.
Yeah, he knows what's going on everywhere.
And I found out I was being gossiped about, and then Pete was dumb enough to ask me the questions. He goes, I heard you had a fight with this person years ago. And he started getting, and I go, who told you that? And he goes, and then immediately he's like, I can't remember who said it to me.
It's called protecting the source.
Yeah, I know who the source was. I'll just say this. The source came out of the booking department. Where's our gossip song?
Put on your headphones, Jen's got the news. Let's dish to the gossip they're saying on the radio.
Okay, so Billy Bush, he thought he would have a really great TV comeback, but it's not looking like that's happening.
Not time yet, huh?
It's not time right now.
Yeah.
He did an interview with a Hollywood Reporter and sit down with Good Morning America, and he was hoping that would jumpstart his career, but it hasn't.
I didn't even know that he did those things.
What else? Still the pussy grab? People are still
the pussy grab. Well, for what he does, there's only a couple of jobs. There's not that many
jobs. What about if he replaced Spicer and the Huckabee? What if he was the press secretary guy? Because that's like on camera.
Well, first of all, I'm going to say this is the best idea I've ever heard in my life.
That's great. Why not have a presenter?
Mm-hmm.
Why not have
it's the
somebody?
only place where he can't, there's people who can't take the moral high ground over him.
Right.
Interesting.
Yeah, I like it.
That's very smart.
But, Billy Bush, he was what? Something Hollywood? Was he Backstage Hollywood?
Access Hollywood, yeah.
Access Hollywood.
Yeah.
And he had that job for 18 years or something. Mm-hmm. And then as soon as he took the Today Show, he said, everybody who leaves Access Hollywood regrets it, but I'm going to do it anyway. And a month later, he's out of a fucking gig.
And there was that thing with the Olympics. He was defending Ryan Lochte.
Yes, he was the one who broke the story. Yeah. He was the one who broke the story and got it on an iPhone. And they said everybody on the Today Show hated him then. And then a fucking minute later, he went down, Trump went up, and the world goes on. All right.
I mean, that is the interesting thing about it, is that they took away his show and then we elected the man who actually said...
We're still disgusted by Billy Bush, like that filthy fuck.
The way he chuckles along. He's like, I never said I'd grab anyone by the pussy.
He did that like it was a good idea.
Like he was like, ooh, you are something, Mr. Trump.
I bet you have a cock as well, sir.
Well, Charlize Theron is now dating Halle Berry's ex, Gabriel Aubry, who is a model. He's really cute. Very good.
Model / actor or just model?
Just a model.
Yeah.
And and they had one kid together.
This guy?
Yeah.
There we go. All day long.
So it was kind of like a cute little love story because they both have kids. They went to the same school together, and they were kind of hanging out when they picked their kids up, and then
That's
they kind of exchanged.
Cute, isn't it?
Yeah, like a little
I think
meet
it was
cute.
a meet cute if Charlize hasn't already dated everybody else in history. Like at a certain point, and this is a prejudice because it's true of women that. All right, so
okay.
He's like the Matthew
he's really-
McConaughey of fucking South Africa. Yeah, he's a great model / actor, but she's dated everybody now.
Yeah.
Everybody.
When is she going to date me?
It's coming. Don't worry.
I really liked her with Sean Penn. I hope they get back together.
Sean Penn's another person who's dated everybody.
Everyone.
Yeah.
Everyone. All right. Good for them both. Good for them both.
And watch out for this guy.
Yeah.
That hair.
And the last dish of the day is Patton Oswalt has a new girlfriend, Meredith Salinger. She is an actress.
Actress / model.
Just an actress.
Oh, too bad. I like to do both. All right, let's get a gander at her.
They were at the Baby Driver premiere in Los Angeles.
I can't wait to see that movie.
Yeah, I know. It looks so good.
I would like to go to Baby Driver with Minnie Driver. Wouldn't that be great? All right, this is a real looker. What's her name?
Meredith Salinger.
All right, now I'm already looking on the gossip rags out there, and people are wondering if this is too soon for him to be dating.
I figure that's
nobody's business. Is it?
It's been over a year.
Well, I don't even know if there should be a time limit. You know?
Also, you don't, he also has a young daughter. I mean, maybe he wants to make sure that there are women in her life.
Instead of just a dumb comic.
Right?
Like, hey, honey, I don't know how any of that works. It's so sad, obviously, when you lose somebody. But no, I don't know why some people act like 3 years or whatever before you.
Yeah.
I mean, if your spouse passes away, how long do you wait?
A month.
A month.
month?
1 month.
What would you say, Jen?
I'd say a year is
1 year.
Is okay. Yeah.
1 year to the day?
I guess yes.
I would say this. I would probably take a date to the funeral. 'Cause I don't want anyone to think I'm gay or can't land on my feet.
Like a good Italian, I would wear black for a year.
Yeah.
And then I would probably never remarry. But like if I would like hook up with guys, I would just be like, what am I doing with myself?
I think every
He'll
guy
never live in my home.
Every guy, when he dies, he would like his chick to gain some weight, wear black, and maybe have a lesbian affair with her friend that they don't make public. You know
Maybe
what I mean?
that's the best way
And
to
a
do
lot
it.
of it's just holding each other and kissing. You know what I mean? Hopefully she's a widow too. Now, with Vito, your ex started dating again 2 weeks before you guys broke up. Did that seem suspicious to you?
Yeah, that seems like it's cheating on. That doesn't.
There's no such thing as cheating. Now, you know what really bothers me right now? I'm looking at that picture and I'm dressed exactly like that now. There's no difference in the way we're dressed at all. No, I think people should be happy for him.
Yeah, he looks.
I
he
think
looks
they
very
should be happy from both.
I think she even. I could be wrong, but I think like she even posted some social media pics of like holding hands with him or something.
Good for them
like
both.
something.
Good for them both.
Yeah, with a little heart drawn around it.
Oh.
No, so she's pushing it too hard.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, honey, let me be the one who runs the PR here. Over at the, and I shouldn't be breaking in this. This isn't really a dish. This is hard news. At the U.S. Open, a blimp that was riding around above it caught fire and crashed.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
Shit.
Chris yelled out "shit," which is. That's good broadcasting. Shit. Well, back to you.
Yeah, fuck. What are you gonna do?
Fuck. You would be amazing on New York One.
Oh my god! The breaking news.
Is you hear about this shit?
No, that's even far for you.
Yeah.
That would be you actually talking, not just yelling out words.
Yeah.
Shit. Shit balls.
That's elevator talk.
Coming up very soon, Robert Cray and Steve Jordan. This is an album done in Memphis with the High Rhythm. And it's called Robert Cray and High Rhythm.
Self-titled.
RobertCray.com for all the dates. But if you get the opportunity, one of the great live performers of all time, one of the most unique players. As soon as this, give me the track listing, Chris, off this album.
It's Aspen, Colorado.
Play a little bit of Aspen, Colorado. I mean, I remember the second I started to hear notes on this,
Yeah.
I was like, oh
I
my
liked
God,
this
this
one
is
a lot.
amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I was born into a simple life. It didn't take much to satisfy me. Then there came a time when I knew I had to leave. tried to get a job in Alabama, but the man said he didn't need no one today. I made my way down to Memphis, and I stayed a few days. Got a letter from my mama. She said, boy, won't you try to come on home? Your daddy said he'd give you all the land for your own. Please come on home. But there comes a time in everybody's life when you have to search for peace of mind. I might go to Aspen, Colorado, spend some time. I hear that it's fine. Of other places, some new towns to be found.
Ah, that's just amazing. Robert Cray and High Rhythm, available now in stores and online, robertcray.com for all the touring dates. Just an amazing performer. Robert Cray and Steve Jordan going to be in just a little bit.
That song is so effortless. Like, I don't know how somebody makes something that good just sound easy. Like, the way he sings is just like, it's really effortless.
And I don't know. I mean, I'm always amazed how people can play a guitar. It's the same instrument, and it sounds completely different. There's people that you could hear and go, oh, I know who that is. Like Mark Knopfler. If I hear 3 notes, I'm like, oh, that's Mark Knopfler playing. Mm-hmm. Robert Cray, I have the same feeling about. I don't even know how he touches the guitar.
Unique. Yeah.
And like, you could be one of the great guitar players of all time, but you can't sound exactly like him. The only person I know that can sound like Robert Cray is Jay Moore. I mean, I don't know how he does it. He's such a
good
impressionist. Are you, by the way, are you an impressionist or impersonator?
I don't know if I think I use both interchangeably, and I'm not sure if one is different than the other.
Here's the thing about Jay Moore, too, because I think he's one of the greatest at all time at doing that. And with his stand-up, he never overdoes it. Like, you can get at a point where a guy could be great, and you're like, are you on the 19th fucking voice? You're annoying the shit out of me. There is, like, if you're a funny person and you have a couple to drop in on, nothing better for you.
Right.
But you don't want to be as a man of 1,000 voices. That's suddenly terrible.
Because then who are you then?
Like, right now, everybody is doing Trump.
Mm-hmm.
Like, women are like, whoa, whoa. You're just like, please stop with the Trump impressions. I feel like someone shot an arrow into my brain. Let's plug tomorrow, Chris. And I know that you hate the fact that I'm going to be doing stand-up at the Stand this weekend. Well, you don't want to bring up who's there with me.
No, I want to bring that up because the Stand this weekend, it'll be on Friday night. Dan Soder, Rich Voss, Ron Bennington, Greg Fitzsimmons, Keith Robinson, and Bonnie McFarlane.
By the way, you don't need to say my name like I'm not here. You can say this is who you're going to be with. I just point this out. That's an amazing show.
It is a really great show.
Soder's destroying it on stage right now.
Yeah?
Mm.
And on Saturday at the Stand, Ron will be with Rich Voss, Keith Robinson, Christy Stefano, Tim Dillon, Sean Patton, and more.
All right, so one night Voss, one night Bonnie, right?
Yes.
Interesting.
Now, here's the interesting thing. I'm going to guarantee Bonnie will have her daughter with her.
Yes.
And I'll also guarantee that Voss won't. Voss never is alone with her, and Bonnie always has her. And I'm not making this up, and I'm not even judging them. I'm just saying how the world works.
You just see how it goes.
Yes, and I think that's true of parenting. And that's why if I'm a judge, I'm giving the parent to the wife. Sight unseen. You're going to have to prove to me that the wife is a terrible fucking person before I'll say, all right. And I get it. You want to see the kid every other weekend. All right, go ahead. I'm not going to fucking, I'm going to send somebody over to look at your apartment and make sure there aren't fucking sharp things all over the place. But the wife
All these sharp things.
does a better job as a parent than the husband. Dan, are you in a relationship right now?
No, single as can be.
But you say you're single, but you don't like to mingle. Why is that?
No,
They should go hand in hand.
You know what, Ron? I like to mingle.
I said to a girl once, and she took it the wrong way. I say I'm single, but I like to mangle. And she's like, I don't think I want to be alone with you. I would. I'd just tear up your little fingers.
What if you're not single, but you do mingle?
That's most men. I mingle on the road. It's always funny, like if you're on the road or you'll be on an airplane and you'll see a guy, he's not wearing a wedding ring, but he has this indentation. Like he just pulled it off before he got on a plane.
It's like a wedding ring tan, too. You're like, hold on a second.
Hey, you're fucked up. I like this guy.
I would record that on the plane.
We've
Share
got
with the
something,
world.
Father's Day weekend. By the way, I won't see my children at all this weekend.
No, I am going to see you on Father's Day.
Are you really?
Yes.
I had plans.
What? Why would you make plans on Father's Day?
Well, no one else told me. Where are you taking me out? To a nice steak dinner?
Yes, if that's what you would like.
I want to
to
go to a beef and beer. Why? What do you have planned for Father's Day? Flowers?
No, not flowers.
What?
I mean, there's a certain pie you might be getting.
Which one?
The salty honey pie.
All right.
That is a Father's Day tradition.
Well, Father's Day tradition just means you said you like something in front of your children, and they won't stop. Is your brother coming over too?
Yes, he is. We're both coming over on Sunday.
Father's Day Sunday. We can sit and listen.
Oh, yeah,
to the
that'd be
Q3
great.
show.
That's
Go ahead
right.
and plug away.
The Comedy Dad special premieres tomorrow, 1 p.m. here on Raw Dog 99, and it will replay on Laugh USA Channel 98 tomorrow at 6 p.m., Saturday at 12, 3, and 10 p.m., as well as on Sunday at 10 a.m., 1 p.m., 5 p.m., and 8 p.m., and you'll hear Jim Brewer, Ray Romano, Nate Bargatze, Tom Papa, Al Madrigal, Brian Regan, and Jim Gaffigan.
By the way, I love just the way Nate Bargatze structures a sentence. It's so funny.
He is fun to listen to.
He's very funny even before he gets to the joke. Like, he could tell you something serious and you're laughing.
Right.
He is one of There is a thing of like a comfortable Southerner. Like a lot of people think they know what Southerners are like, but there's another Southerner that just seems like they always have a mixed drink and they're either going to the golf club or something. And life, they're a fan of some college football team. And life seems to be comfortable for them. They have a nice home. The lawn always looks good. They're in a nice relationship, but they fuck around on the side. But no one gets upset about it or finds out. You know what I mean? Like they smoke weed without making a big deal about it. And you're always like, oh, I didn't smoke your weed. Goddamn right, I smoke weed. I've been smoking weed since I was 8. They're just comfortable in life. Hi, Chris. He waves to me throughout the show. Was there a reason why you're waving to me?
It's a time cue.
What is the time cue for?
For when Robert Cray and Steve Jordan are coming in very soon.
Why wouldn't you just say that?
I should have.
Well, now would be your instead of a regret.
Yeah,
plug away.
In about let's say 5 minutes, we're going to break and then come back with Robert Cray and Steve Jordan. Robert Cray and High Rhythm is available now in stores and online. And go to robertcray.com for all of Robert's store dates.
By the way, this will be my first time to meet Robert Cray, who, like I said, I'm a long admirer of. Steve Jordan. Oh, somebody remind me too that I'm trying to get Steve Jordan and Bill Burr together. When I brought up Burr that I knew Steve Jordan, he was very excited and said, and I was surprised to hear him say that, he says it's his favorite drummer of all time. He also said that when he was younger, he attempted to invite Steve Jordan to come see him at a club.
Bumps into him on the street, like, I don't know if what you're doing right now.
That's ballsy. It would never occur to me to say, I'd like you to come to a show that I'm at. I'm doing, 10 minutes at the stand. I want you to come see me there. Very, very funny. But, Burr is a guy who will play with the Comedy Jam all the time, and he doesn't go out and sing. He goes and plays drums every time. He also wears a wig, which I'm even totally honest, I don't understand that. I don't get it. I don't like, hey, look, I'm wearing drummer hair. Just go out and be yourself. Be Burr. Fucking drive that shit home. I guess he's trying to be Tommy Lee.
Yeah.
I remember seeing Tommy Lee, I guess it had to be the 80s when he was doing the spinning drum thing.
He's still doing that, right?
I don't know. I got to tell you, I only saw Motley Crue once, and that was plenty.
What is it like? It's like a wheel of drum, and then
it's like a wheel in the sky. It keeps on turning.
Okay,
like Journey put it best. Look how little that shooter is. Just a tiny little man, 5'6".
Hashtag not all short people. Okay,
we still hashtagging. They never do it anymore.
There's still hashtags out there.
I know they're out there, but is that trending? There's still fucking people who play the harmonica. It doesn't mean that it's trending.
Yes, people use the hashtags.
It seems a lot of hashtags are sponsored now. If you look at the trending hashtags on Twitter,
really?
Yeah, they'll be sponsored by like a company or whatever.
Well, I didn't think a person was going to. But how do you know it's sponsored? It says sponsored by?
Yeah, but it'll be like a little image saying sponsored right next to the
So that means it's created by that company. It's not.
It's created by like say Coke or whatever.
All right, but tell me one that Coke would do. Like the real thing?
Yeah.
Hashtag real thing? That's stupid.
But is it unrelated to the product or related to the
It's
product?
related to the product, yes.
Okay. Did you see that Fox News has gotten rid of the term fair and balanced?
Yes, they dropped it. Very quietly they dropped it. It's like,
And
I
you
feel
know-
like they're slowly doing, a whole new branding relook. If you look
you know
outside.
what they're trying to do? Get rid of the Roger Ailes.
Yes.
Get it, as they say, get that number one stank off of us.
Right.
Get that 20 years of being at the top stink. Thank God we got rid of that guy and killed him.
Because outside of Fox News, there's all new pictures, like new font. It's like a very new thing. No longer fair and balanced.
I think they look lost to me. Other than Hannity, everybody else looks lost. I don't even get the 5 at 9. I mean, that show is fucking ridiculous. And then what's the other show that they have called like The Professionals or it comes on like 5 o'clock? It's fucking bizarro.
That one I've never even seen.
And then finally, when I get to Hannity, I'm like, oh, God, comfort. Yes, I feel like I know what's happening in the world now. I don't know what the name of the 5 o'clock show is.
I'm looking it up. It's like is it 3 women or 2 women and a man?
I don't know. It just changes all the time. Like they bring in people like the co-hosts for the day. They're just fucking lost. They're lost.
They seem very confused with all the news as well. Not just how to report the news, but just like,
what to do with
this is
it.
crazy.
They don't know whose side to be on. They're like, well, I've never was 100% on Trump's side, but I still hate Democrats. Oh, what to do? Wish Roger Ailes was here, but
and also you lose the voice of complaining. You lose that's is an easier thing to do.
But they didn't complain all during the Bush years. They were like all gung ho, and then Trump was anti-Bush and anti-war. And they're like, well, okay, I guess in a way.
They're the specialists. That's the name of the show.
Thank you. It's lost in fucking space. They need to get O'Reilly back. What are you handing me?
I live read to do before Robert Cray and Steve come in.
Why don't I just give it to Robert Cray and Steve Jordan?
They won't mind.
Oh, this is about Tito's handmade vodka, the original craft vodka. Tito Beverage came up with it, and he's very happy that he did.
Tito's Handmade Vodka is America's original craft vodka. In 1995, Tito Beverage, yeah, that's his real name.
Since then, he's been awarded a 95 rating by Wine Enthusiast.
He's won the unanimous Judges' Choice Double Gold Medal at the World Spirits Competition.
It's got a modest paper label, and he still makes vodka by hand.
So all you pay for is the exceptional handmade vodka inside. Tito still makes his vodka by hand on the same land where he started it all, Austin, Texas.
He won the unanimous Judges' Choice Double Gold Medal.
Tito's handmade vodka is distilled 6 times from 100% corn and is naturally gluten-free. Visit us at titosvodka.com for recipes, songs, and more. 40% alcohol by volume, handcrafted to be savored responsibly.
He acquired the first legal permit to distill in Texas and put his life savings into it.
Tito's.
Handmade. Robert Cray and High Rhythm. That's the new album. Robert Cray and Steve Jordan here. Good to see you guys.
What's up?
Thanks so much for coming in.
That sounded nice. Yeah. That sounded nice.
You like just nice?
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Sounded
nasty.
I haven't heard it for a while.
Yeah, man. I said, wow, I hadn't heard it either. I was like, well, okay.
The band plays it on the road, but I haven't actually listened to the record for a while. It sounds funky, man.
Yeah,
totally.
it is. It's great. That's the old school groove, right? That you guys were looking for right away.
It's just natural, you know?
Yeah.
That's the difference. It's not necessarily just old school. It's what we're feeling.
Right.
That's the thing working with High Rhythm. We're not asking them to do something retro or anything. No, just be yourself.
Just be yourself.
Right.
Just be yourself. Let's just play.
Yeah.
And that's what came out.
And that's what you guys were doing in the studio right away. Let's play first before we even try to figure out what this is yet.
That was the way to get everybody into, the feeling of just being a unit.
Yeah.
Steve will just start playing and everybody falls in, and that'll last for maybe 15, 20 minutes. And you go, wow, this is going to be great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun. And, when we stood at the very beginning of the recording sessions, we just posed the thing to Charles and Leroy and hubby, like, let's just be a band for a week, so we want full participation, not like, oh yeah, we're telling you what to play here, like let's, just engage the same way you engaged with an Ovi Wright recording session or an Al Green recording session. Let's do that thing. We're not going to tell you what to do, let's just do it,
Well, explain to the audience too, just historically where these guys fit in to music and this studio fits into American music, because it's a high watermark.
Yeah. They are part of another sound that came out of Memphis, and probably the biggest sound. I don't think I'm learning a lot about this whole thing too. The importance of Willie Mitchell and Willie Mitchell's influence on music from Memphis. Even before the Stax thing, he pretty much put all those people together to create these bands. I mean, Al Jackson left him to go to Stax.
Right.
And most of the guys were raised from the high rhythm section were raised by Willie Mitchell as youngsters, and then were kind of groomed to create the Willie Mitchell sound. And so all the music that you hear on Al Green and O.V. Wright and Syl Johnson and Ann Peebles and all that. And then on top of that, the studio that from me watching all this stuff happen now, that he tuned and made that a part of the music as well. So the sound that comes out of that studio is a sound on its own. So if you go into that studio with those musicians, there's a sound that's going to come out of it that's unique.
That you can't duplicate, right? You cannot duplicate.
Well, see, Willie, he was the owner of the label, the producer, the composer, the arranger, and the engineer. Okay? That is a complete sound. So the whole sound is recording it from top to bottom, not recording like the rhythm tracks and then taking the vocals in LA or New York and then mixing it in Utah or something. No, you have to do it from, from A to Z there. And that's how you get the complete sound and this magical thing that Willie worked years and years to cultivate and create. So it's living memorial to what he meant and is. It's not in the past tense. It's, Uptown Funk was recorded there. Right. You know what I mean? I mean, it's just like, it's still current. We got to keep people, aware of what this legacy. It's its 60th anniversary this year, and we plan on trying to do a little salute and in Memphis, and a little concert, commemorating that. And it's just so important to popular culture. When you hear an Al Green record on the radio, when you're in Kmart, or whatever, it sounds as big and fresh and alive and wow, what is that? Than anything. I mean, it's really remarkable. The sound of the song. And then you hear the vocal and, oh my God, what a sound. That's like, it's just growing. It's every time I hear it, it sounds better. What, like a fine wine.
Gail, for you, but when you heard Al Green, was it Pulp Fiction or did you hear me play an Al Green before that?
I probably heard Al Green before.
Because that was the soundtrack for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like Al Green, I thought, okay, we just found the greatest singer and we're just going to celebrate that every day for the rest of our lives.
I think it was Al Green is like one of those artists that probably from you playing Al Green since I was little, there's not almost like a definitive moment like, oh, that's the first time. It was always just kind of the fabric.
You were hearing it before you were actually hatched.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
But, when we talk about Robert Cray, obviously he's one of the greatest guitar players of all time, but also to me, one of the most unique voices of all time. The phrasing, whatever that rise that takes off. The first track I heard on this was Aspen, Colorado, and immediately I was thinking, like, how could somebody play that beautifully? It's, you know what I mean? And then all of a sudden, when his voice comes in, you're just like, man, there's a confidence there. There's a confidence there. Did you always have that, Robert, or?
No, I didn't always have that.
Yeah.
It's something that I think that's just happened over the years. And, you do what you do, and then you get, I don't know how to put it, but you just feel better about doing what you do.
Yeah.
You kind of learn how to approach a tune. And the kind of music that I listen to has taught me that, Mm-hmm. I like a lot of music, that R&B flavored music or gospel flavored music, blues, all those types of music to me, even Jimi Hendrix. I mean, it just exudes that confidence and understanding of the songs in a way where you learn how to approach them the way you'd like to.
We talk about the musicians and we talk about the studio, but Memphis itself, all the type of music that you're talking about came together right there.
Yeah.
You can kind of feel it when you're in Memphis. There's something mysterious.
Yeah, I think one of our favorite things is just to kind of go through and look at all the music that comes out of a specific city and in that time period in the scene. But I think there's something about Memphis that it's like almost mystical. Like it's hard to really explain why everything came together in that time.
Water,
and
that river.
Yeah.
It's the crossroads of, American music. I mean, you had the Delta right there where the blues came from. And, a lot of gospel music came from that area. And the unique thing about Memphis is just for music's sake, people of different races came together.
Yeah.
And learned from it and took it to different parts of the country and made what they wanted to out of that music and the culture that's uniquely American. Rock and roll, blues, country and western, that's our home base.
That is our home base. And then it also, the people who really know that kind of music, and I'm talking about that came off the Mississippi River, wherever, was those English kids that were growing up in the 60s and 70s. It's always amazing to me that those kids that grew up on the other side of the world connected so much to that music and brought it back to us. And it really is like one of the best things that we've ever done as a country. You know what I mean? If you really look at things that you could say, oh, what am I proud of about being an American? You can look at that music and just say there's something that connects.
Oh yeah. And when for like the musicians who get the opportunity to leave the States and go play abroad and just, you really get to appreciate the fact that America has created such great music. And then we can include jazz.
Yeah.
And, like I mentioned before, country and western, rock and roll, blues. And people outside of this country really pay attention to what's coming out of here all the time and always have.
It's Robert Cray and High Rhythm. And of course, Steve Jordan's here, produced this. And this isn't your first time in Memphis doing this, right, Steve?
I started going down there on a regular basis in '88 when Keith Richards and I went down there to work with Willie for the very first time, and we became friends from that point on. In '88, working on "Make No Mistake," which was on the "Talk Is Cheap" album, and and it was very clear that Willie was alive and well, and this is what has to happen. And we struck up a really great friendship, and he served as a mentor, what can I glean from this great man, this genius? And he appreciated that I loved what he was doing, so we tried to work as much as we could together from that point on. And but I never got to do a whole project there. It was either cut some tracks there or overdub here or get a horn chart thing done, But it didn't really happen a complete top to bottom until the Boz Scaggs Memphis album.
Yeah.
And that was the first opportunity I had to do the whole thing there, and it was amazing. And I thought, okay, now, figured out we can do it. Now we'll do it with those guys in here.
Right.
See that, so it was like a no-brainer. Robert should do this with this band. It was like I was sitting around and ding, hey, this is it. This is what we got to do. And Megan was incredibly, we just freaked out, we were just freaking out, and then we were able to pull it off, and it's just like unbelievable. And all this great stuff is happening. It's just amazing.
You and Robert go back how long now? It's been a while, right?
We've known each other for 30 years.
30 years.
Yeah.
30 years.
Yeah, we first got together when we did the Chuck Berry Hail, Hail Rock and Roll thing. And we did our first record together in, 99 or something like that?
98,
99.
Now, how do you know that you're going to collaborate well with another artist? Because I'm sure that there's times where, you know, you appreciate someone's musicianship or their artistic nature, but how do you know when you're going to collaborate so well together?
I think you can just pick up on it. I think when we had the opportunity to do the Chuck Berry project, we did a lot of rehearsing. We had a great opportunity to play together, and so I think that's maybe why Steve, was willing to take on, producing the first effort we did together. Then after that, when we got in the studio, it was cool.
Yeah, I've
always appreciated Steve's work,
I was aware of Robert through Keith, because when I was down in Jamaica with Keith one summer, and right before we started working on Hail Hell, and I thought we'd be listening to a lot of reggae, stuff like that, and I was looking forward to that, and all I heard was Robert Cray the whole time I was there. He was playing 2 Robert Cray records, and he had heard about Robert through Eric. So, and that's how these guitar players, they think they hear a sound and they go, hey, check this out. And they, oh, okay, So he was creating this thing amongst the guitar elites, And so when I was in Jamaica, that's all I heard was Robert. So I kind of knew his play. And it was, I'd never really heard anybody play like this before. And I'm sure, he has his influences or whatever. But you can usually take oh, yeah, that guy's got a little Albert King in him. Oh, yeah, that guy's doing that, whatever, Oh, he's got a little Curtis Mayfield with a little this. Oh, he's got a little Loman Pauling with a little. I didn't know where, I don't know, it was with Junior Parker. I don't know where this style.
It's very unique.
It comes from, and it's amazing. And his phrasing and everything that's uniquely his. And it's really it's amazing to me, and, you can't really copy the way Robert plays either, like some guys will pick up like a lick, can't really do that, it doesn't really, I never really, you know what I mean? It doesn't, that's not what it's not,
I don't know how to do it either.
Well, that's what I was saying. Like, my immediate thing was how does something that beautiful just come down? And that's what I've always felt. And by the way, I think this is one of the most interesting things is covering Bill Withers on this album, because that's another guy that I never understood where he came from. That's a guy that's just on his own, made it look like songwriting, look like the simplest thing in the world. He didn't even seem to be influenced by himself. If you went from one song to another, you're like, who?
Well, the common denominator you always felt was he is singing about the truth.
Yeah.
That's like honest songwriting.
Right.
But the feel, it goes like this. This is how it goes.
Yeah.
And it's amazing, and he's that kind of person. If you know him, he's just as honest as that's him. And it comes from just this gut thing of what he listened to his whole life. And, after he, did all this other work, naval engineer and the academy and this and that, and all this stuff. And he's a Mason and he's this and that. And then, okay, let me start singing.
Yeah.
And I'll pick up some songwriting. See, like in this part of my life, to see what's happening with that. What?
From not doing anything, he just hits record on a tape player and just starts to sing songs that are in his head. And he's just singing out a greatest hits album.
Right.
Exactly.
It's totally wild.
The cool thing about the song that we do on the new record is like when we play it live now, it's deep, serious blues.
Yeah. Sure,
we're standing up there singing, and I'm going, man, there's a whole lot of Wolf in this tune, And I go, wow, this is deep.
But do you think that Bill was even aware of that when he was writing that? Because I don't know how educated in music he was.
He's very, very savvy blues musician in that way, and he knows, he's got deep roots in the blues. And
he was just quietly doing it on his own. On his own scene.
But, here again, his honesty straightforward kind of approach, and once he found people he could work with, he worked on his first record. Al Jackson Jr. is playing drums. Ain't No Sunshine is Al Jackson. Way before, before James Gadsden started playing with Bill, it was Al Jackson. Once again, Memphis plays a huge role. It was produced by Booker T. Jones. Right. Memphis, but in L.A.
Yeah, right.
So you still, that influence once again. Willie Mitchell, trained drummer, musician, boom, 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 cultivated since he was 13 years old, because he was an arranger for his father's band, because he is Al Jackson Jr. Al Jackson Sr. played bass. And Willie Mitchell was the arranger for that band, Al Jackson Big Band. And when Al first, and there's a story where they're doing a gig, they go to do some prom or something, and the drummer doesn't make it, and Al Jr. is there, and he's 13. And it's very clear the drummer's not going to make it by the downbeat, so they have to let Junior play. And, Al and Willie has confidence in him. Everybody's a little squeamish about it, including Al Sr., but Willie convinces Al Sr. let Junior play. It'll work. And the first set, or the first few tunes, the tempo's all over the place. It's flying, because Junior is so excited. He's 13 years old in the band, and they're like, what the hell's going on? And the people on the dance floor are like, what? And everything is like, whoa. And then, Willie has to stop the band, and he talks to Al Jr., and he goes, okay, kid, it's going to be okay. Just relax. Let's make the people dance, just relax. Gives them a little pep, and it goes on. And he can, from that point on, slays the entire night. At 13, Al Jackson Jr. becomes boom, in one night.
Dude, that sounds like a scene out of a movie.
Yeah.
If we wrote that fiction, you're like, oh, that's a little too over the top. Let's bring it back a little bit.
Yeah.
So you guys, how long to record this album? How much time in it? And you recorded it as a band, right?
Right. 7 days and 7 nights.
7 days and 7 nights. That doesn't get done much, right? Not anymore.
Not anymore.
But do you enjoy that, Robert, more than...
I was tired.
Yeah.
I got really tired, but it was great. I mean, we did what we set out to do. So it was great.
What was really amazing is that he had come off the road.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes people want to rest after they come off the road before they go in to an intensive care unit, for 7 days. But I think that contributed to the spontaneity and the great singing and the great playing, because he was playing, so he was hot. So we came in. It didn't take a lot to do anything.
I think it works better that way. We've done it the other way in the past, and then you totally get out of groove mode. You calm down, and everything like that. And it takes a while to work back into it.
Right.
Coming in off the road, be a day or two off, boom, right back into
it. It was on fire. The singing, the playing. We didn't do much of, it wasn't like, oh, let's do another vocal.
Yeah.
It was like, we'd 2 vocals, maybe 3 solo, done. Not oh, let me try to, it was done. It was that's it. That's unbelievable. Okay, next. Boom, done. Let's cut a track. We're playing. And the way, we like to work is we do a lot of playing, and then we'll just, okay, let's play the song. And we played it. Well, it's very clear when it's it and when it's not it, or when, and then, but it didn't, or in a lot of multiple take, performances. It was it felt very natural, and it was exciting, and it was intense, and psychologically it was intense, because we were in Memphis during basically around Christmas time, and there was going to be a change in the administration, and the vibes, below the Mason-Dixon line were a little strange.
Mm-hmm.
And it was we were going right from the hotel to the studio. The hotel to the studio. There wasn't a lot of straying around, and because it was a very, it was intense. It was strange. It was things were a little unsettled. And so there was a mission attached to this wonderful experience was a little extra thing on top, that, was part of the energy of the record.
And you've never really been involved in politics much over your career, am I right, Robert? Before, laying this song down, because it comes across as you're not even mixing words here. It's definitive. It's not metaphorical. You're just laying it down about where we are right now.
Yeah, I just told what had been said basically in this song, But we have meddled in politics in the past on several albums, as a matter of fact. With the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan and all that too. So,
yeah, it just, I don't know, it feels closer to the bone now, doesn't it? It feels like bluntness is the word of the day.
Mm-hmm.
It surely feels that way in New York City. I don't know.
Nobody's mincing words.
Yeah, nobody is mincing words, and we're truly in a what the fuck place right now. Like people that you talk to, or just wherever you go, people are like, do you believe this shit? But then again, I'm not in the middle of the city. I'm in the middle of the country. I don't know about people feeling in an opposite direction because New York is pretty damn united.
Yeah.
Right now.
And the feel is pretty it does feel very unified, and it's similar in some ways to maybe some other political moments we've had in the past, but then other times you're like, no, this is on some other level.
Yeah.
This is like, we thought that we were confused before. We felt like we were lost before, but now it really is on another level.
That's because it's so present. You see, like, for instance, when Abraham Lincoln was assassinated and Andrew Johnson became president, a person who actually loved slavery and was one of the causes of the failure of Reconstruction because he was crazy, but it wasn't on CNN.
Right.
So it wasn't online, so the news took a little longer to disseminate and things didn't happen as quickly, and you were able to maneuver in a way where everything didn't come crashing down at once. What's happening in the last 140 days usually would take, 3.5, 4 or 5 years in the 70s and 12 years in the 1800s. It's like, whoa.
It's the number one TV show right now. You're just
reality show television.
Yeah, like
reality show precedent, right?
Like it was Breaking Bad or The Wire.
Right.
Like you're just like, I can't believe this swerve. I can't believe Jarrett's with the Russians. I can't believe, it's really entertainment.
Yeah.
And then you forget that it's real life.
I don't think it's entertainment to the people in Europe.
Yeah, I don't know what they're thinking of us.
Or anywhere else.
Yeah, anywhere else right now. Steve, I wanted to talk to you too about comedian Bill Burr. I was talking with him the other day.
He's great.
You are his favorite drummer in the world, and we got to get you guys together one time. He drums out with this thing called the Comedy Jam, where comedians will get together.
Cool.
And he can do it on that level. So I'd love to get you guys together.
I would love that.
sometime.
I would love that. John Mayer actually had mentioned that to me not too long ago. Yeah, and because they're friends as well. Yeah.
Well, he told me that he, when he was younger, he stopped you on the street and asked you to come see a set of his. He was only doing 5-minute sets at the time. You're like, I got a recording, dude. But I thought it was so funny and out of character for him to do that.
That's funny.
All right, let's wrap this up with the song that is about these days. Tell us, is there anything else you want to add to it, Robert?
I just was, just like everybody else, just feeling it, and had to say something. And so, I just started writing the lyrics, and what you hear is what you get.
It almost seems tame now.
Yeah, I was going to say that too. I could write many a verse because it's a shame that it was written back in October or something. It's all changed. It's in the past.
You could have a double album coming out and send it off. Thanks so much for stopping by, you guys.
Thanks,
and congratulations on this.
Thank you.
It's Robert Cray and High Rhythm.
Ladies and gentlemen, the evening is over. We hope you all enjoyed yourselves, and we'll see you all again in 1974. Good evening.